I don't think we lost quorum because of it.
Yeah. Oh wait, here he is. He's coming. Nick of time. All right. David Crane.
Yes.
Thank you. Herman, he's connecting to audio. Herman, we're voting on the resolution to adopt for the Ernesto's license. Are you in favor, or do you need me to read it out loud again? Herman, you're on mute. Herman, do you need me to read it out loud again? You can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Or you can put it in the chat. All right. Do we need Herman's vote, David? What do you think?
I mean, if he's unable to vote, I mean, I don't know. This electronic stuff is kind of new. You just declare it over. I don't think his vote would make a difference.
Okay.
If he can't type a vote into the chat and he can't speak it to us, can you see him and can he do a thumbs up?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm using my phone, so yes, say yes vote.
Okay, thank you, Herman. All right, that's the cherry on top. Okay, thank you guys for coming tonight. The office will send you these stipulations that I just read through for you to sign and return to the office. We thank you for your time.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right, have a good night.
Good night.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna run through the rest of the agenda as is because the other upgrade that we had on here dropped off. Unless, Larissa, did you see people here for like a specific, it seems like there's a lot of people here for the next one, number 10. So it just makes sense to go to there. And then maybe
there's a lot for Parkside Lounge, if that's the one you're referring to. Yes.
Okay, thank you for confirming. Okay, are the applicants for number 10, the Parkside Lounge here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Hi, Christopher. Are you here with a lawyer? Are you
Nope.
on your own? Okay.
It's me.
Great.
Okay, Christopher, do you need me to share the pictures at this time?
If you would, that would be great.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm just going to drop the full application here in the chat for everyone to follow along. There we go. And Larissa will share the photos.
Bear with me for just a
Oh, you're
moment.
good. I'm just going to run through
Sure.
run through the top lines. Okay, so this is an alteration, not a different type of license. Sorry, I was pulling up my cheat sheets.
Okay, we've got it up now.
Thank you. Okay, so this is adding a rooftop deck to the Parkside Lounge. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the location, it's a one-story building on the corner of Attorney Street and East Houston Street. The proposed hours of operation for the outdoor seating will be Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. through 10 p.m., Friday, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 12 p.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. There will be 40 seats outside with low levels of recorded ambient music. Soundproofing will be installed within and on the surface of the privacy walls to prevent noise bleed, and the roof will be supervised at all hours of operation. Everything else is staying the same. Is that correct, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Okay. We received, I believe, one letter in support and one letter against to the office. I'm just gonna pull up 311s here. Sorry, my computer's at the time of night when it's not working very well. Okay, we had 3 complaints for noise, all of which were no evidence of violation observed and no police action was necessary in 2020. Does the committee have any questions for the applicant or any comments about this change? Or do we want to run through the presentation first?
Let him do a presentation. I would like to know where the music will be inside at the point, but not outside in the street.
Do you mean like where the speakers will be located on the roof?
We're talking about with the roof, would it be enclosed?
No.
Okay, well, let's let Chris run through the presentation then, and maybe he can take away
Yes, okay.
our questions. All right,
Okay.
go ahead. Thank
Hi,
you.
everybody. The slides here are not really part of a presentation. This is for you guys to look at. Over the years, my neighbors consistently throw their own parties on my roof. The police department holds me accountable for it. They've let me know that it's my insurance and myself that will get sued if somebody falls off the roof. I've got a photo on there of people actually drinking on my roof while I'm telling them to get off. And these photos are from the last 7 years. I've got some from today when I went up there. There's a cigar that somebody put out on my roof. There's cigarettes that somebody put out on my roof. So that's what the photos are. As far as the rest of it, we have a one-story building. We have a business that I'm very proud of, and I'm especially in the past year, I've really come to see how much it means to the neighborhood and to the city outside of the last 10 years, but more like a reflection of what's left of old New York. And the summer was very hard last year, as it is with most businesses like mine. And this seems to me to be the best way to take care of the roof. And my neighbors have been using it. I want to use it. The police department tells me I have to be responsible for it. I'll be responsible for it. I've contacted my immediate neighbors to try to fix the graffiti on the roof that the 7th Precinct has also told me is my responsibility to fix. That landlord to this day hasn't gotten back to me in 6 years about that. So it just seems to me the smartest, best thing to do. And I'm prepared to do it. And I'm aware that I have a responsibility to my neighborhood and to their quality of life. And anybody who knows me and who has worked for me or worked with me or lived around me knows that I will give them all my personal phone number, and I will take care of anything that they need me to take care of in terms of their personal lives. I would like to speak to some of the sound violations, the sound report. It was found that at least one of those was made by an Airbnb guest who was staying in the building next door to me. And while I say that I am 100% behind making sure that my neighbor's quality of life is maintained, when it's an Airbnb guest, I don't really have a lot of sympathy for that. And that's what I have to say about those sound complaints. I've always been, I'm a voting member of the community council at the 7th Precinct. I've worked with community affairs officers anytime we've gotten a complaint. And I'm very hands-on, and I'll continue to be that way.
Great, thanks, Chris. Can you just describe if you did any outreach? I know that it's not required if it's not a community group, but I know that there are people here to speak tonight, so you might want to describe what you've done.
Yes, I mean, I've spoken to my neighbors on all sides of me. At 310 across Houston, they don't allow you to post anything inside their building. So I gave my email address to them and nobody's contacted me from that building. I've spoken to the co-op board for 311 and 313. I don't know which letter you have of support, which single letter you have. I have 4 in my email box, which makes me wonder if they sent them to the wrong place. But one of them is from Alex, who's the head of that co-op board. And so I've talked to them. I've spoken to my immediate neighbor on the west side, who's on the 1st floor, who shares a wall with the Parkside. Also in that building, there is a private garden that I've agreed to completely respect and maintain and keep safe. And I think that's important too, because it's like a little oasis on the Lower East Side here. Yes, I mean, I've spoken to a lot of people. There's a lot of support. There are some people who are concerned, and my immediate neighbors who have concerns, I understand why.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, and I apologize. I do have at least 3 in support in my inbox. I apologize if I didn't get the 4th, and I think just 1 opposition. I didn't update my spreadsheet, sorry.
Cool. One of them should be from that co-op board.
Yeah. Okay, Susan, I see your hand is up. Do you want to ask a question? Susan?
Sorry, I did not want to ask a question. I wanted to make a statement in response to the previous drinking on the roof. I'm sorry that the 7th precinct told you that you could do it. I will certainly talk to them about it because they know better. Any drinking on your roof by your neighbors or you before you have a license is not legal. You don't have a license and that's why you're applying for it.
Can I clarify that it was not in me or anybody who works for me or anybody from the Parkside? It is strictly my neighbors who is drinking on the roof, and I've asked them over the years not to do it. I've worked with the co-op board to try to stop members who live in that building from doing it.
Then you need to call the police and tell them to vacate the roof. It's your roof. It's like if your business is closed one day and the neighbors walk in and start drinking in there, it's the same
Yes,
thing.
ma'am.
So I just want to inform you, and I will
Okay.
you talk to the police to let them know, sometimes they don't understand. It's complicated and they don't always understand either. But,
Thank you.
we talk to them all the time anyway. So I just wanted to ask you or ensure that you know that until you actually get the license, you can't use it.
Yes, ma'am. I have not had a drink on that roof ever, personally.
Okay, thanks, Susan. All right, now I'm gonna go to the committee. David Crane, I see your hand is up if you'd like to go.
Yeah, we've had other rooftop venues, although I think the only ones I really remember were hotels. But the 11 p.m. closing time for a roof deck, I mean, potentially it's later at night than 10 p.m. And I'm wondering about that. Do we have any precedent for what we've done? What we've encouraged or licenses for a roof deck that's very outdoors and, is going to sound will travel directly up to people's buildings. Like we asked for 10 p.m. for French doors. Do we ask for 10 p.m. for roof decks?
We have not looked that favorable on roof decks because we have them on hotels and other places. And what we worry about was the fact that what kind of services will be done there, what the seating would be like. Will it be for gathering parties or just to sit down eating? We worry about sound if it's used up there. And for a 1-story building, I myself would not want to have any kind of music up there. That's for sure. That's why I was asking about music, because I wasn't considering the music on the inside of the, even though I would want the music not to come out into the street or be able to affect the quality of life in the neighborhood. So I'm totally, fine if there is a, I don't have it here. Was there a diagram supply as to how that roof top would do and what will be the operation?
The diagram in terms of the operation.
How the rooftop would be laid out and
okay.
And yeah,
you would walk into the Parkside through the front door, where that would allow us to check everybody's ID and control who goes upstairs. There's an external stairwell that will come off the fire door on Attorney Street and go up, covered. That's how you get on the roof. So the access is into the bar, up on the roof through the Attorney Street side. We would use, the Parkside makes an L. So if you're looking at the diagram I sent you, it's actually a little more shallow. Let me pull it up. In our diagram, it's the whole roof.
Chris,
but
is this something that you have on your computer that you could share?
I You know, I have a drawing I could bring. Hang on, I have it like right here.
Chris, I can make you co-host and you will be able to share if you want.
It's okay. I have this because I was talking to one of the neighbors about it today. Can we see this?
Here, hold it up, Lowell.
Okay, so this is Houston Street, and this is Attorney Street. So here's where the stairwell would go. The building right next door, immediate building, ends right here. Right around here is where the wall, we will have it walled off. This is going to be a service area. We still need to be able to have some access along here so that these guys can trim their gardens and stuff that are up there, as well as one of the tenants needs to be able to get to the emergency fire escape ladder that goes down into their trash well. The rooftop will be seated only. It will not be for parties. It will not be for events. It's strictly socially distant outdoor drinking. Gives me some flexibility. Should this last, you know, I mean, I think it's going to last a lot longer than what we're all optimistic for. And it will have a service bar up there or a service station. Everything, all music will be, it will not be louder than the street below. You, at no point will you be able to hear the rooftop from the first floor downstairs, from anybody's garden, from any of that. Houston Street is extremely loud. Attorney Street is right there. So as far as music and sound, we're talking very low level, outdoor speakers mounted on the roof deck, low, just providing ambient sound.
Usually when people are up there and they're speaking and it gets a little loud and you try to speak on top of the other so that the people next to you can hear and stuff like that, it travels.
Yes. So our soundproofing, I was speaking to one of my neighbors the other day, and he was unaware that we've had live music for the last 8 years. That's because the soundproofing that we have is good, and he's immediately behind my wall. I can control the sound going through a wall. Going up is a little more difficult. So for the immediate neighbors next to me, 313 Houston and 171 Attorney Street, the sound will be okay. Like I'll be able to mitigate the sound going through those walls. It will go up into the air, but that building right next to us, 313, has no windows facing like the biggest part of the deck, which would be here. There's no windows here.
Right.
So I would be able to mitigate it going through the brick wall.
I have to make it clear to everybody that there's a building I have across the street to the east.
Mm-hmm.
That is a residential building. So it might not affect the people on 313, but what about going across the other side of the street?
My goal is to make it so you can't hear the roof deck from the street below. You're not going to be able to hear it from across the street.
Thanks, Chris. Herman, are you good? Okay. I see Ellen, your hand is up if you'd like to go.
Hi, so generally we ask applicants to provide us as much detail as possible to paint us a clear picture of their operations and sort of what they're imagining. And if in essence, you're really adding this extra layer, a level onto your building, we really need to understand how that would impact everyone in sort of a 360 fashion. So yes, noise travels everywhere, right? And so, and also, you know, the fact that we don't have this extra diagram that tells us where you're putting tables, etc. I mean, I view this as a very incomplete application, and you did not check off a lot of your stipulations, right? Which really is a requirement for us to really understand what your thinking is and what you're planning. And how you operate.
I can send you, we got updated stipulations. Susan, was that not put on the website?
So I just downloaded it from the website.
The stipulations on the website. The stipulations are exactly what they were before, but they're not part of the application.
Right, because it's only for the roof deck change.
Right, but the stipulations for the business are the same ones, you know, might be useful to read them, but they're exactly what they were before, other than the rooftop.
Right.
I'm not quite sure if Ellen's talking about just the rooftop. I mean,
Well, I mean, in addition to the rooftop, right? And I think we need to, I mean, also there, apparently the applicant wants it to extend to 11, which is a bit unusual and unorthodox. Is that the case?
if I could just clarify, the alteration is only for the rooftop. So all the information that should be provided should be for the rooftop, because everything else is being the same.
So generally, to my understanding, sort of the 10 p.m. Time frame applies to all outdoor use. And I'm assuming that includes a rooftop of some sort.
No, there is not a standard. There is, it usually is, the committee usually asks for 10 o'clock, but there's no standard that the committee has ever created.
Okay.
Well, really, 10 o'clock for outside places.
Sorry, Herman, if you have two devices on, you need to turn the audio off of one or mute one.
Let me turn it off. Okay. Usually, you know, any external places, and the way I have discussed it, and we have discussed over the years, is 10 o'clock would be the max that we would, you know, I would agree with.
Herman, you're breaking up. Maybe you should go back to your iPhone. Okay, I'm gonna go to David while we try and get Herman back.
Okay.
David, did you put your hand down? Okay, Susan, you go ahead.
You know,
Oh,
I'm
wait.
sorry.
there's always the future.
Oh, Susan actually had her hand up before I did.
About things that happen there.
We're getting Herman. Hold on. Susan, you go ahead.
Okay, so Herman made me realize that there's one, and what Herman and Ellen said, that seems to be one important thing missing from the application, and that's we do ask
Can
for.
you hear me, Michelle?
Yes, now we can hear you. Susan was just gonna say something and then you can go.
So it seems to me that we're missing the floor plan for the roof. Is that correct?
No.
Oh, you do have because I looked at what you have and I couldn't tell what was the floor plan. So that is the floor plan for the roof.
Yeah, it's in the questionnaire. It's page 6.
Okay, when I saw it, I couldn't tell that was the
Oh,
roof.
wait, sorry. No, that's the indoor, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw a diagram, but it didn't look like a roof to me.
That's the roof. I mean, it should have the external stair on it.
So
Well,
it shows the floor plan of the roof.
Closet.
Right.
Does it have a bathroom and a utility closet?
It does. Those are down. The bathrooms are downstairs.
So what's the roof?
It will have a closet.
I think in the questionnaire, Chris, we only have the diagram for the indoor space. We do not have it for the rooftop. It's not in the questionnaire.
So that, I think that's a problem because some of the things mentioned made me wonder when we start talking about fire escapes, and I didn't know if there was a garden. I'm just concerned about some of the compliance with some other agencies, fire department and DOB.
Of course, I'll be in compliance with all of them. I mean I'm here to talk to my neighbors. I did include a diagram with my questionnaire.
It's not.
It is the exact footprint of the Parkside. It looks a lot like this without me drawing on it.
Yeah, maybe it was just an oversight, but unfortunately the one that we have online does not have that diagram in it.
So we put in mind what you sent to us.
Do what? Send it again?
I said, we put online what you sent to us. We only had one application sent to us.
Right.
And the diagram seems to be an internal one.
You can see the questionnaire that we have, Chris, in the chat. I put the link there.
Oh, right.
So I'm not sure if that was just an oversight because obviously you have one on with you.
I don't think it was sent to us though.
Right. I mean, it was an oversight that the office didn't receive.
Guys, the one, I mean, this is, wait. No, I see it. I see the interior one. I'm going to throw that up on here so everybody can look at it. I do remember that there were 2 questionnaires that I filled out. I wonder if I sent it with one and not the other.
Yeah, a revised stipulations form, but that didn't have
Right.
the diagram.
Nothing went with that.
I'm gonna let David ask a question while you're pulling it up. David, go ahead.
Okay, I was going to comment that people use their indoor voice when they're outdoors from a bar. I live right above one, and there's 6 on my block. So that when people go outside, they're still using their bar voice, which is, you know, much louder so that the person next to them can hear. It's just part of the socialization of drinking, I think, in the city. I mean, I do it myself. I get shushed by neighbors when I'm hanging out with people who've gone out to smoke, and I just will step out with them, and then I get shushed. It's going to be a problem on that roof. That will be an issue. So I really want you to say that you will have a 10 p.m. closing, and even then you're going to start getting noise complaints just because people use their bar voice when they're outside. And that's going to be something you're going to have to police. You know, so I mean, not police, you know what I mean, right?
Yes,
it's going to be a problem for the neighbors, not also in the building across the street, but certainly the 2 buildings that your roof abuts. You know, it's great that you've got a, you know, directly on top of there. It looks like you don't have a wall of windows, but you do have them just around the corner, just across the street. And I suspect on the foot of your L, the building, you know, that's not on house.
There's no windows on that either.
Okay.
But you are right. You're right. And everything.
So please agree to 10 p.m. is what I'm going to asking. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, David. And Herman, I saw that you wrote in the chat also that you would like 10 p.m. as well. I know that there are a lot of, do the committee members have any other questions? I know that there are a lot of members of the public here in support. I counted 11 people. I might ask if there will be if there's anyone who lives in like the direct vicinity, not just patrons who might want to weigh in. Okay, and if there's anyone that's in opposition also, if you would just raise your hands right now, just so that we can hear from you quickly. Shouldn't say, I keep saying quickly. Yeah.
Sorry, real quick before we go to the public.
Yes.
Is that, Chris, is this, you said it's seated and it's only seated service. So there's a service bar. So there's no congregating around a bar up there. There's no place for people to stand. It's purely seated service through a cocktail server, or do they go to the bar and bring their drinks up? How does this service go? Tell me how the flow goes when they get up to the bar or they get up to the roof. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry about that. I'm not going to prevent customers from buying drinks downstairs and carrying them upstairs. There will be table service upstairs. There will be a service bar upstairs. And I mean, the way the roof isn't huge. It's not small. It's the same size as Parkside. Everything needs to be kept socially distant, and that's the plan. Everybody needs to be seated. Everybody has to have their own spot. You know, it's a place to sit outside and enjoy being outside and with your immediate circle. This is not, I mean, I'm not putting together a party deck or, you know, like a bar outside or anything like that.
But just one of the concerns though is definitely, I understand with COVID and the socially distance, but this, if we grant you this, it's going to go beyond COVID. And so the concern is that you'll get this, people will be distant now, and then things start to loosen, and then more people start to stand. And so if it's not required to be seated, how many people up there. I forget what the occupancy is. How
40.
does it not, what is your way to ensure that it doesn't turn into a big scene if everyone can start standing, if everyone can bring up their own drinks? And that's when to David Crane's point, things can get very loud. The more people you get up there, if it's only seated service, I'd feel better about that. But if it starts getting, everyone can just kind of come up and start standing around and doing whatever they want, then I get some concern for neighbors.
Right. The liability that comes with the stairwell outside, in addition to all the other liquor liabilities that exist, is so high that there's always going to be security on the roof maintaining, number one, keeping eyes on the stairs, because they have to, because that's a crazy lawsuit. And in addition to whoever's serving on the roof. So there's two people up there. One of them, security specifically to keep the roof under control. And as far as it getting crazy, I mean, we're talking about, you've asked me to agree to close at 10 p.m. on the weekends. So closing at 10 p.m. only gives me 5 hours of service and limits how crazy it can get.
Okay, thanks, Jesse. Are you good? And how many tables will be there? I know 40 seats, but how many tables?
16.
16, okay. So, and you mentioned that you will have one security employee on the roof at all times, and what's the other employee that you'll have on the roof?
Whoever's serving.
Okay.
Or also a minimum of 2.
Yeah.
So can I just quickly say, 2 employees with 40 customers, that's scalable? I mean, it's scalable.
No, that's why I said a minimum of 2. Absolutely.
Well,
not. I mean,
I'm wondering
more.
if 40 customers can actually, is that enough revenue to cover the expense of 2 employees?
Yes. And it's much more controllable. I mean, while we're talking about this, I mean, I have 15 seats on Houston Street right now. And in the last 3 months, there's been people robbed. There's been knives pulled. I've been fighting off drug dealers every single day. 40 seats that I can control on the roof is a lot better.
Okay, thank you. Susan, did you want to say something before we go?
Yeah, I think it's still an issue that we don't have a diagram, and I certainly don't want to hold up your vote, but I wonder if we could get a floor plan tomorrow morning that shows everything else on the roof, whether it's a fire escape, garden, or whatever, if we could get a complete diagram tomorrow morning. And
Susan, I did put a link in chat to it, to the diagram.
I was wondering if we could pick up that link and display it. Maybe Larissa might be able to.
Okay, so like I said, I didn't want to, if I could finish, I wanted to say about the hours. They currently won't be able to stay open after 10 at this point anyway, until the executive order is over. So I just wanted to mention, you could have the option, if it's only 10 now, if everything works out well, when the executive orders, they could come back to extend it to 11.
That's a good idea. And I would totally be comfortable coming back and letting the board determine whether that other hour is allowable or not. And I would agree to that right now.
Okay, all right. Cool. All right, and now Larissa, thank you for sharing. So is it okay if we leave up this diagram while we have the community, or does the committee have any other questions? I don't see any other committee member hands up right now.
Can I say, where's the fire escape and did you mention the garden there?
Well, the garden is private, does not belong to the Parkside. It's one of my neighbors. So they actually asked me to kind of maintain that anonymity. But it is behind here, behind one of these walls. One of the concerns with this is maintaining security of everything that's back there, like access to it. The fire escape it's a 1-story building, so the codes are a little different with what's required of the fire escape. You have that right now, the way this is shared on my screen anyway, the blue part at the bottom is a stairwell.
Can I just ask, I don't want to hold up your time. Can I ask for a complete diagram to the office tomorrow that shows the garden and shows the fire escape and whatever's on the roof? I don't want to hold you up now.
Yes, I mean, can the board agree to just keep it among themselves and not share it publicly?
Yes, you
Because
can.
I promised my neighbor I'd do that.
Put a note, yes, just absolutely put a note and we'll respect that.
Okay, thank you. There is a fire escape that belongs to the building next door on my front corner, northwest corner. And that's how some of my neighbors get on my roof.
So these are all concerning issues. Yes, I say, please send a diagram that is 100% complete with everything, because these are all very concerning issues. But
Okay.
I don't want to hold you up.
All right, thank you, Susan. Okay, so I see 3 community member hands up. I'm going to start with Richard Cecilio, please.
Hi, I'm using Richard Cecilio's computer, but my name is actually Aaron Andre, and I am a neighbor of the Parkside that lives in the building next door, which is actually 315 East Houston, not 313 East Houston. And I'm speaking for myself as well as the 3 other leaseholders of the apartments in this building, and we are all adamantly and vehemently opposed to the construction of this roof deck. And we view it as a direct assault on our privacy and yet another degradation of our quality of life in an already challenging and oversaturated and tumultuous neighborhood. I would like to say on the onset that it was erroneously stated that there are no windows facing this roof deck. In fact, all of our 4 apartments in this building are railroad type in the sense that all of our bedroom windows are on Houston Street and have dealt for years with the noise, the cigarette pollution, the actual physical litter on the sidewalk from the Parkside Lounge. And our other bank of windows is the southern half of our building, which are all of our kitchen, living room, dining room windows, which face directly out on this roof deck. So in essence, he is bringing the mayhem that we've lived with on Houston Street, raising it up one more level so that it's right at our windows in the back of our building, which was heretofore our only sanctuary for light, for fresh air. He's asking for 32 people, 16 tables. The noise will be deafening. I don't know. The application I read, first of all, only seemed to state that it was for weekend operation, not weekday. It also stated that there would be lighting, there would be music. I mean, the noise is going to be deafening. I mean, as the neighborhood is gentrified, there's been more roof decks and things of these buildings that have been built on houses. And right next to us, the building that is directly west of my building, they have a small roof deck at the same level as his roof.
Thank you.
And when there's just a few people out there, it sounds like they're in my kitchen. It's deafening. So I can only imagine with 32 people, and the pollution from the cigarettes.
Richard, I apologize. I don't mean to cut you off. I forgot to announce at the beginning that there is a 2-minute limit, so that's my apology. But thank you.
Thank you, Larissa. Okay, thank you, Richard. Okay, the next hand I see is Bricia.
Yeah, hi. I live in the same building as Aaron, and we are lower up, so we don't have the same issues he does. But I wanted to talk in support of Parkside because, first of all, this has been a really tough year, and with all the outdoor dining, I think it's really important that the streets are safe. My girlfriend had her phone stolen, et cetera, and when we will have spring outside dining and for summer outside dining, at least for the next few months, we would like a safe place where we can, in this community, go to grab a drink, where we're not always panhandled. I know that sounds bad, but no matter what bar I go to these days, it seems that that's what happens. And right now, with the rooftop bar, we will be able to handle that better. Also, the garden is ours, and Chris has said that he will work with us. And Chris has always worked with us very diligently to try and figure out how to make sure that the sunlight comes in and the noise pollution stays low, and I trust that he will follow through with all his promises. And
Okay, thank you very much. Pialo Heights, I see you next. Go ahead. Pilo or Palo, I apologize if I'm saying your name incorrectly.
Sorry.
There you go.
So I've lived in the neighborhood for 24 years, 16 years on Essex Street, 8 years here on Clinton Street. And I've been going to Parkside Lounge since 1998. I moved here not knowing anybody, and that was my neighborhood bar. I'm a gay man. I walked in there by myself, and I always felt welcome. It's a very mixed crowd. It's a very welcoming crowd. And also there's something really important about that bar that most bars don't have and most places don't have anymore, which is a performance space, and a performance space that is affordable for performers. And I've seen amazing people that have gone on like to have great careers. And I have to say, look, I think we have to help our businesses, because with what's going on right now, and especially with businesses that have been part of our community for so long, it's like I've been going there for 24 years. And I think like, I think we have to help. We have to do something to make it more viable for, you know, if you cannot have the people inside, you know, I just think that it's very important, especially like as an actor and performer. That's the only place where most of my friends and me can perform that is available to us, that doesn't mean like paying a ton of money. So I think, you know, it's very important for this to happen. And I love Parkside Lounge, and I've been going there for so long. And thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I know that there are a lot of other people in the chat here who are in support. What's the committee thinking? Anyone have something they want to say from the committee? You can raise your hand. Okay. All right, I just want to take a straw poll, I guess. Oh, Paul, do you want to say something?
It would be nice if we had a better diagram. I think Susan's right. I mean, I don't completely oppose. I'm not so sure about the 11 o'clock. For sure not. But this is not clear. This is little tables with, I mean, the rooftop could fit a lot more than what this shows. Susan's right. You need a more detailed diagram. I mean, I do this all the time, and I mean, it has to be more details, and they have to show windows and stuff like that. So I can agree with the residents. I mean, I'm a bar owner too.
When you say windows,
I see. First of all, you know, this, by the way, I've been to your bar, so great. But this, to the rest of the people, doesn't show where.
Hold on.
Yeah, sorry.
Paul, you got some echoing. Are you signed in twice?
I think that was Herman, and he's got himself on mute now.
Okay, sorry, Paul, go ahead.
Like I said, I love your place, but people that haven't been here, they wouldn't know where. So where's the building? Like, you have to show where the building is, where the entrances are. Like, it has to be a little more detailed. That's my take on it.
Okay.
I also think it would be a problem weekend or no weekend, 11 o'clock up there, because we all know, although we're trying to get rid of people, sometimes they don't go, so the 11 becomes 11:15, 11:30. I scream every night at my places, so it's like, you know, that's my take on it. So,
well, I can tell you right now, if you're telling me that I have to stop service at 10 and not clear everybody off immediately and still have some kind of rapport, I can agree to that, no problem. That's no problem.
I think Susan wants to say something.
Susan, yeah, I see your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, a couple of things. First of all, I'm just realizing, so we're approving this permanently, not for COVID, but it looks to me like these diagrams are COVID diagrams. And I think the community and the board need to see what they're approving. I mean, because he can actually do this during COVID without our permission. You know, he could do it under executive order. So what we're concerned about is post-COVID. So
what if we put in the stipulations that he can only have this number of tables?
If he would agree to that permanently, but I mean, to be honest, I can't imagine why he would agree to that. But if he would agree to that, and that would be fine, and that he would come back to us before changing it. On the other hand,
I can agree to that. I'm just saying right now.
Okay, so that would take care of that problem. I don't think he needs to show, honestly, entrances and that kind of stuff, because this is only the roof that he's showing is applying for an alteration.
Okay, thanks, Susan. All right, I want to take a straw poll here from the committee. I think we've talked about this a lot. Larissa, do you mind unsharing the screen just so I can see everybody? Thank you. Okay, so if we do 10 p.m., can you just raise your hands if you'd be okay with it as the current, and we can, we can work through the specifics of the resolution, but who would be in favor of approving this with the stipulation that there'd be 16 tables with 40 seats, operate as a roof deck with outdoor seating and no congregation area, only play ambient music. There will be at least 2 employees on the roof during all hours of operation, including 1 security employee. Is that all right, Chris?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Jesse, are you okay with that? What's your thought? Do you want me to come back to you?
Yeah, come back to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Herman? I see Herman twice, but you're not unmuted on either. All right.
Hear me now.
Yes. Are you a yes or a no?
You're gonna hear sounds because they are intermixed together.
Herman, if you're using both devices, go ahead and turn the audio off on your computer and use your phone. That'll help.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Ellen, what are you thinking with the 10 p.m. and the other stipulations?
It's a no for me, just because we have to think of it within the framework of non-COVID and permanency as well. And that's a deep concern, because the 40, limiting it to 40, it's hard to enforce. And we've had these issues of enforcement and challenges around enforcement and noise and et cetera. So I think also the fact that, the application that we're viewing now is what I said, again, it's incomplete. And the information is not full, and it's just not compelling.
Okay. Chris, let me just do a round robin, okay? David Crane, what are you thinking?
I'm against it, and I got to say, if it opens, I'll be there. But it's going to be a problem, and there's no reason that we have to do this. So I'm against it.
Okay. Paul.
As I said before, I need something more clear. If it's 10, I don't have a problem, but 10 has to be 10. I know how these things go. Like 10, everyone off the roof cleared out for the people. And I mean, I don't know if it could be a stipulation like that, but 10 doesn't mean 10:15, 10:20, 10:30. I'm telling you, I go through this all the time. And sometimes it's like, oh, people won't leave. Well, guess what? You said 10, so people have to leave.
Okay. Is that is that a no or is that a yes?
That is a yes if I have a better drawing, like Susan said before.
Okay. Well, we won't get the drawing tonight, unfortunately, if there's something else. So
I'm fine with the 10 if it's 10, 100%.
Okay. Okay. Jesse, I'm coming back to you.
I'm a, I don't know. It's hard because I do really like, I mean, I do believe that trying to help businesses, especially that have been crucial to our neighborhood for a very long time, and try to help them with the stipulation that this is COVID and that sit down, and that you wouldn't go before, that it doesn't, there's no congregating, there's no standing, there's no, I could be a tentative yes.
Okay.
I could say though, this is not about because it's COVID.
Right. Susan, yeah, I think he's just saying just generally as a concern. Okay. Herman.
He added a comment in chat. He said,
oh, thank you, Alan.
This application at 7:35.
Thank you. Okay. So that's 3 no's, 2 yeses.
Can I speak to Ellen's concern about the application? I'm wondering if she's talking about the stipulation section, like what was incomplete, because a lot of that, there was some dialogue between me and the board going back a couple of months on how to fill out that application, and I did it a couple times, and the stipulations, some of them just don't apply to the roof deck. My business has been there for 23 years, so things like happy hours that have been there for 23 years, things like that. I was told not to worry about that part. So if that's what you're concerned about, that's why those aren't checked. If it's just the diagram that you're talking about, I will have that to you guys by midnight tonight, depending how long we go. And I have no problem agreeing to close at 10 o'clock. And I also have no problem agreeing to come back to you, to the board. As Susan said, right now I could self-certify this. Doing this right now is all above board because I want permanency. And I have no problem agreeing to any time there's an alteration on that roof, I come to the board and talk about it. And I mean, as far as the number of people, 40 people sounds great, and sticking all of them in my bar after we close at 10 o'clock is a good idea too. I mean, they have to get outside. They're going to, unless they hit the fire door, they're gonna have to go straight through my bar, which is great.
Okay. Ellen, does that change your answer or no?
No, it doesn't. But I'm glad he brought up the what Susan said. So I just need clarification on that. So okay. Susan is saying that applicants, because under executive order, can use any private space outside.
If it's contiguous with the existing operation, which this is.
So he can use the roof deck space.
Yes.
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 So he's coming to us to, beyond that.
Ellen, that could last a while.
As long as the executive order is in place.
Yeah.
Yes, right. I understand that. Again,
is it contiguous? Because there is no current connection to get there at all. They're going to have to build a stairwell that doesn't yet exist. And that will be an outside the business stairwell.
It is contiguous.
Walls.
I checked it with the SLA.
You did? Good.
Yeah. So I guess if that's a consideration for anyone, because we'll have these stipulations if we approve this versus the executive order operation.
Well, again, I think our consideration is also there's a sense of permanence to it, right? It's not like when the executive order ends, we take back all of our approvals, right? That's clearly not going to happen. So yes, obviously we need to save businesses. We want to save businesses. But at the same time, this community is also oversaturated with this type of business. So there's a historic conflict that has been happening for decades. So yes, we are in challenging times. We are in unique times, but the laws and regulations and guidance that we are now under does not speak to that, right? So we still have to consider things in a sense of permanence.
Okay, thanks, Alan. All right. Okay, so I'm going to do a yes. So I think that means that would be me, Jesse, and Paul. Paul, is that right? A yes with the current stipulations as I described? Okay. And 1 absent and 3 no's. So, David, what would you recommend as the parliamentarian doing here with that? Because
Well,
absent,
I mean, I think any resolution is unlikely to pass one way or the other. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think you should just invite a motion, and we need to have all of the words of the motion, but we can start with someone saying, I move that we totally disapprove it, or that we do some sort of a deny unless the stipulations are met. And then, you know, that either passes or fails. If it ends up 3-3 locked, well, I really don't know what to do, but I mean.
Right, 3 and 3 with an absent.
Well, the absence isn't accounting. It's,
Okay.
it's
Well,
60
because I know
present, yeah.
abstain, right? So.
Right, it would have to be, oh, someone is going to abstain?
No, sorry. I was just saying with an abstention, that would go towards a no, right? But an absence does not have that.
Right, if there's an abstention, you have to, that is a vote, and you have to have a majority of the votes cast. That's
so it sounds like it's going to end up being 3-3. So
It'll go that way on the vote sheet to the full board. That's what we're hoping.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest then that we write out the resolution rather than a straight deny. Because if we do a straight deny and people disprove that at the board, then it would just come back to us. Because this is going to be a full board vote, right? We're going to have to do.
Yeah, we certainly will. I'm sorry, if it doesn't pass, does this committee typically put a resolution and say this did not pass?
Yes, that's what we've always done on the vote sheet.
Okay.
This did not, it says specifically it was.
Right, I remember I'll see a series of them. So maybe you ought to do that so that the vote sheet has a version of the stipulations on it.
Right, so that's what I mean. We should not do a straight, we should not make the resolution that we vote on, or I'm going to make a motion that we write a resolution that is not a straight deny.
And excuse me, Michelle, are you including Herman in the no votes?
Yes. Thank you.
Did he vote no? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just didn't hear it. So.
Sorry, he does have it in the chat.
The resolution people are voting no against have all these stipulations in there.
Right.
So let's hear the motion that you're proposing.
Okay. The motion is that whereas Parkside Lounge has been operating since 1987 and there have been, I would say minimal noise complaints. Noise complaints at 301 in the last 2 years and no record of complaints to the community board in the last 2 years. Susan, is that accurate? Okay.
Not the last 2 years.
Whereas businesses are struggling to survive during the COVID crisis, and this business is seeking an outdoor roof deck to contribute to its survival. Whereas one member of the community sent a letter in opposition to the alteration, and a tenant of 315 East Houston Street spoke to the committee in opposition. I would say, should I say to the tenant of the adjacent building? The adjacent building at 315 East Houston. 315 East Houston Street spoke to the committee in opposition to the application. Whereas 4 members of the community sent letters of support, a tenant of 315 East Houston spoke to the committee in support of the application, and at least 11 other members of the community attended in support of the application. Whereas there will be 16 tables with 40 seats and there will be no standing bar on the rooftop. Therefore, be it resolved that Community Board 3 recommends the denial of the method of alteration to add a roof deck for Parkside Lounge for the premises located at 317 East Houston Street. New York, unless the applicant agrees to before the SLA to make as conditions of its license the following signed notarized stipulations: that it will operate as a roof deck with outdoor seating and no congregation area or standing. Its hours of operation, sorry, my dog is looking at me. Its hours of operation will be Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. through 10 p.m. Friday, 5 p.m. through, it can just be Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. through 10 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. Is that accurate, Chris?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
In extreme days, but yes.
Saturday through Sunday, 12 p.m. and 10 p.m. it will play ambient background music only consisting of recorded music and will not have live music, DJs, promoted events, scheduled performances, or any event at which a cover fee will be charged. It will have 16 tables with 40 seats. There will be at least 2 employees on the roof during all hours of operation, including 1 security employee, and the applicant will not go to the SLA without coming back to CV3 for a change of the method of operation. Okay. No, it will have no more than 16 tables with 40 seats, excuse me. Okay, so that's the motion that's on the floor.
Just take a roll call vote.
Okay,
Well, how about we talk about debate?
is there any, yeah,
Yes, I would like to see the 10 p.m. If we could add a clause, I don't think we typically do it, but saying at 10 p.m., let's say, at which time customers would be herded off the roof. You know, what's a polite term for, you know, it's not
Ushered.
last call at 10 p.m. Ushered. That at which point,
will be removed from the roof.
Yeah.
It's already in the stipulations if you read it.
it does say something like that.
It absolutely says all patrons are to be cleared from business at specified closing hour.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. Thank you. It's already there.
Okay. I'm just gonna put that in the resolution though.
I have very good security. They get along with the entire neighborhood. It's part of the plus of the Parkside. So that's what they're there for.
Okay,
It's not a
thank you.
problem.
Okay, is there any other debate on this motion on the floor? Okay. All right, I'm going, hearing no more debate, I'm going to go into a roll call vote. Yes, all right, finally got it. Okay. Michelle Cooper-Smith, yes. Ellen Liu,
No.
Alex Napoletano. Absent. Jesse Beck,
Yes.
Paul Sierros,
Yes.
Herman Hewitt. Herman, are you thumbs down or thumbs up? Thumbs down, okay. David Crane,
No.
okay. Okay. So Susan, how does this work then with the stipulations?
We should still send in the stipulations. It will go on the full board vote. Vote sheet as, you know, being referred to commit to full board as a tie vote, and the board will decide. That's what has always happened in the past.
Okay, and when's the full board meeting?
Full
All right,
board,
I look it up. It's Tuesday, January 26th.
Correct.
At 30 p.m.
I think we should attempt a second motion, which would say that we actually deny it because of concerns about rooftop noise adjacent to residential buildings. I mean, we should attempt to see if that could pass, and then it would also be on the vote sheet. We've typically done that. And we've also typically done the weasel words that if the SLA chooses to issue this license against our advice, we would ask that the following stipulations be included in the stipulations on the license.
They kind of do that anyway. I don't know that we've done that recently, but because it changes with every administration, but it's kind of like saying, you know, they're gonna, it's kind of like saying, we know.
I guess it does kind of weaken our ask to say, don't do it. But
I mean, I
just don't know the likelihood that they're actually going to go ahead and do it. I've been a fan of that approach in the past, but you're right. Everything changes with every new administration of the SLA itself.
I can say, is it appropriate to say when I present this at full board, like there was concern about the noise for the adjacent neighbors when I presented?
Can I speak about that actually? Because I'm here talking to you guys about this roof deck, And in the meantime, I got an 8-page contract in my email yesterday from 171 attorney because they want to use my roof to build 2 more floors on their building behind us. And I think when we start talking about noise concerns with me, and as Aaron said, one side of him, they've already got a roof deck. The ones behind them are going to have a roof deck. On the cross Houston Street, they have 2 roof decks. I just feel like that's pertinent information.
Are they going to be able to do construction if you have, if you're using the roof as a bar? I mean, as part of the bar?
I will work with them. I mean, that's where we left it.
So that's.
But I didn't even know they were doing this.
That's new information that.
Yes.
That we really weren't supplied, and the diagram should show what part of the roof. These are all important safety issues. They're not.
So I have the roof deck that they're building. I don't know anything about other than the email.
No. What part of your roof are they going to be using? It sounded like you said.
I have no. I mean, they just, without even any dialogue about it, sent me an 8-page contract saying, you know, sign this, and so we can use your roof to build our roof.
I imagine it's
agree.
staging and scaffolding. I'm imagining. Maybe.
That's very, very concerning because you're now using it as a bar. Part of it's being used to stage construction. It's being used.
None of it is going to be used to stage for construction if you tell me I can't do that. That's brand new information. I'm more talking about how we're talking about noise. And in the meantime, seems like all the landlords right around me didn't come to talk to you about their decks, and they're throwing them up left and right.
So
should we be having this discussion to the vote?
It's important to understand how they're using their roof. And Michelle, maybe you understand it better than I do. I don't understand what the new information is.
What's the address? 171.
Attorney.
But what are they doing on your roof?
They want to put up some type of scaffolding or something so they can work. I don't know, Mrs. Stetzer, I don't know. And they want to put up some kind of scaffolding and work on their roof. And if we had known this before, it just seems to me like if you're concerned about noise, one way or the other, they're going to put those floors up, whether they use my roof or not. And if you know, I have the concerns that you just raised, or of course mine, like, what are you, why would that be okay? We're putting all this work and designing a deck that works with all of our neighbors, and you're just going to use it for construction. It's crazy, but that's not my point. My point is just that there are roof decks surrounding the Parkside right now. My neighbors use my roof, and we're still, like, my neighbors use my roof. My neighbors have put bands on my roof before that have played full bands on my rooftop. And those sound complaints, that's on me. And you don't think I can better regulate the sound? I'm asking you to take this into consideration, that I can better regulate the sound when I have control of the roof. It's totally a mitigation.
So Michelle, can I?
Yeah, I kind of want to wrap this up because we have a lot more to get through, but
these are very important issues. The issues I'm bringing up have nothing to do with noise. Construction is construction, and construction is noise.
Yes, ma'am.
My concerns, we're now hearing they have bans on the roof, which you were illegal. I mean, your method of
absolutely.
So we're hearing about all this illegal stuff, non-compliant stuff that has happened on the roof. I am concerned for safety reasons of having a complete diagram of exactly how the roof is being used, because I'm going to take that to the fire department and DOB. Also, SLA asks, you know, is this being used for anything else? It is really important to be very open and transparent and mention how every inch of that roof deck is being used. These are compliance issues. These are not quality of life issues that I'm speaking.
Ms. Stetzer, are we on the same page when I'm telling you that I'm policing my roof and other people are putting bans on my roof, not the Parkside, and we're the ones kicking them off?
You're responsible. I'm sorry, it's
okay.
Responsible. Yeah. If you're having problems with it and you need help, you can come to the community board. You can, go to the police.
I do have a long chain of communication with the 7th precinct about my roof and the times I have called them and how they have shown up and what we've done.
I will help you with that, but
Okay.
aside, you know, the scaffolding.
Is this something that you can talk to Chris offline about, or do we need to?
No, the we're voting on something that's going to have scaffolding on the roof, and I'm really concerned about that.
Okay.
Well, there's no scaffolding going on the roof as of right now. As of anything, I mean, there's no legal requirement requiring my landlord to allow them to use our roof. That's merely a point in me saying that it's like me coming in front of the board is a responsible step, and the next part of that is me taking care of the customers at the bar that are on the roof.
I don't think you're helping.
Can I just say that's one more problem?
Sorry, Richard, I'm sorry. It's not appropriate for you to start speaking now. Thank you.
Michelle, I think we really need to make it clear that this section is really for the board internally to have a discussion and to not have others just jump in.
I feel that Michelle just did that.
Yeah. Okay. David, do you have something else you want to say, or no? I mean.
Yeah, I do. I don't know where we go with this. I think we kind of need to ensure that the applicant withdraws in the sense that they will not proceed to the SLA until, but I don't really know what that next step is. I do think that we need to be looking at this more closely. Yeah, I know that we need to look at this more closely before it goes to the SLA. I understand that's a whole month of delay, but
they can
what I think
in the meantime.
And I fully understand that what Christopher is describing are trespassers using his roof. And I can see why insurance companies would say that you're reliable for that, but I can't quite see why the city authorities of any enforcement would say that he's responsible for what trespassers are doing on his roof. I mean, maybe that's the case.
Okay.
I certainly don't think that that should reflect against him before the SLA, this previous illegal activity by trespassers.
Like I said, David, just think of it this way. What if his business, his business was, people went into his business while it wasn't operating and had a party there? He would still be responsible, and unless maybe, possibly if he had reported it, because who's to be honest, he'd have to prove that he had no, responsibility.
But he doesn't use or really have access to the roof right now because there's no stairwell even. So it just seems to me it's outside of his premises.
Oh, so I'm sorry, you guys, do we have to talk about this tonight? We can't,
okay, no.
We have a lot more to get through tonight.
Well,
okay.
This idea of withdrawing for at least a month until we can look at it, should we do that? Is that possible?
Yeah, that would be up to the applicant. Chris, if you want to withdraw and come back next month with the things of addressing the concerns that the committee had.
I'm happy to address the concerns line by line, but I need to know exactly what you want me to address. The diagram I'll get to you tonight. The agreeing to close at 10, I've already done. Agreeing to keep the sound down, I've already done. So I don't know what else. The trespassers on my roof, when I have called the police who showed up are the ones who told me that's my problem. So if that is part of this, I mean, I'll agree to do whatever you want me to do to mitigate my roof. The Parkside isn't open right now as much as we were a year ago. So there's a lot more opportunity for people to take advantage of that situation.
Okay. I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know, David, is anything going to change your mind though? I mean, Ellen's concern is about permanence, not about,
Well, I am concerned about permanently creating a situation on a rooftop, yes. And I will still have that concern, it is true.
So I'm not sure. I mean, we passed, I mean, it can go, so basically we can send the resolution to the full board for a vote, or you can withdraw and come back next month with a updated presentation, so.
I will get you the diagram tonight, and I'm happy for you to send it to the board for the full vote. Am I on the same page with what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, Susan, can we update the application online?
My concerns are safety, and they really shouldn't, I don't think, impact your vote, because I'm going to say Department of Buildings, it'll, you know, if the city allows it, it's allowed. If they don't allow it, nothing you vote matters. So I don't think it should impact your vote. I just want it so that I can go to the agencies with it, but it should not impact your vote.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense to me. Yeah.
So, Chris, it's up to you. Do you want to withdraw, or do you want us to send this resolution to the full board for an up and down vote?
Please send it to the board.
Okay. And you know, as I mentioned, the meeting is, the information's on the website. I think it's the 26th. So Tuesday the 26th, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you, Chris, for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Moving on to the next one. Are the applicants for number 11, Me Salsa Kitchen here? And can I just remind everyone that the chat is not for discussion for a separate meeting. It's for technical issues and asking to speak during the meeting.
Yes, Ravi Sharma as representative for Me Salsa Kitchen. I'm here with principals and manager as well.
Okay. Just going to pull up your information. Okay. So this is Me Salsa Kitchen at 205 Allen Street. This is a new on-premises license. Proposed hours of operation are 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. all nights. The applicant has not been previously licensed. The location has previously been licensed with the full on-premise. This is going to be a Cuban restaurant. And then I have a couple of questions from the stipulations that were not filled out. And let me just drop the full application in the chat so you guys can all see it. Apologies for not doing that. Don't worry, I have a dog too. Okay. Okay, so then will you be employing a doorman or security personnel?
No, that's
Okay.
not the plan because it's
Okay.
just a restaurant.
Okay, just asking. And then one thing I noticed is that you said that you would only have ambient recorded background music, but you also did not check that you would not have live music.
Right. In the body of the application, it's indicated that there's going to be live music. The request is that it's still going to be ambient background music, but it's going to be a trio, a traditional acoustic trio on certain nights to just accompany the eating. So it would be like a stand-up bass, violin bass, an acoustic guitar, and acoustic percussion.
Okay, so a four-piece acoustic. Is it four-piece?
Yeah, so it's acoustic. And it still would be at the background level, not entertainment level.
Okay. And how many nights a week do you anticipate that being?
I could allow the manager to speak to that. He told me he was looking at weekends and perhaps one day a week, but go ahead, Ernesto. You're muted, Ernesto. You're muted. There you go.
Right. Can you hear me now? Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Basically, the plan is to have on the Fridays and Saturdays, and if it's possible during the week. But it's just a plan. As a fact, we don't know when we're going to start with the live music because the whole situation right now, and it's a new restaurant, so that's what we want. But we don't have decided if it's gonna be more than Fridays and Saturdays,
Okay, well, we need to put in here what you're proposing. So
I mean, we would love to have it during the week for certain days if it's allowed by you guys.
Okay, so should I say
Well, I didn't notice on the stipulation that I filled out for my client where it was specified as to, you know, when those would be. Like the idea that it like all of a sudden Wednesday night would not be then allowed on Thursday. I didn't see that.
Well, no, it's just that we need to put in here what you're planning to do.
Oh, okay, so it would be occasional live music to accompany the diners, the dining experience.
Okay.
With background levels. Or live music. I mean, if they had live music for a couple hours a night, every night, I think that should be okay as well. It's just that it's not.
Okay, so should I put in here that you would like it to be every night?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And
Are we
then
talking about?
Go ahead, Herman.
Are we talking about Allen in East Houston?
205 Allen Street, yes.
Okay. My experience is I'm 2 or 3 doors away from that. When the previous people were there, the last 2 operators, they would open that window overlooking Houston Street and music would blast all.
We lost you, Herman.
Herman, I gotta buy a new computer, man.
Okay, let me just finish up. Herman, can I just finish up the stipulations? Sorry, will you be having, can I just finish up the stipulations? Herman, 1 second. Will you be having unlimited drink specials, including boozy brunches?
I don't think so. Ernesto?
No, we don't.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, that's just not in our application right now, so I have to ask everyone it, but it will be changed in the future. Okay, Herman, sorry, go ahead.
No, that my concern about the live music, because from my past experience over the years, it has been a nuisance, especially when they open that window, large space. Open the window facing East Houston Street, and people said East Houston Street is very noisy. That mitigate the situation that people complain about the noise. So I would like to know how they are going to solve that issue.
Well, I think I'll let Ernesto speak, but I would also say that we would be happy to enter into the stipulations as to, you know, standard closing of windows. I'm not even sure that there have windows in this location. I know the current licensee.
Yes, they do.
Okay, well, I mean like French windows and that type of thing. But if there were any, I think there's not a problem to stipulate to closing of windows after 10 p.m. and things like that.
Yeah, Herman, they've already committed to closing the front or rear facade doors at 10 p.m.
Including when amplified sound is playing, even if it's before.
Just
This guy's coming in, but the previous people.
just to mention that half of the window that goes to Houston Street, it will be now like a display for a rotisserie chicken machine. So there's no way that half of the window will be open, even in summer or winter. Winter is impossible. Summer, it won't be open because we're gonna have machines there. The other half, of course, I mean, I have no problem to closing all the window when the live music start. The whole idea about the live music, and I want to be clear for you guys, is we're Cubans and we're trying to bring a Cuban experience. And as everybody knows, Cuban music is part of Cuban life. So that's why we want to add like a traditional acoustic Cuban trio. and it's traditional Cuban music. So that's why the whole idea about the live music, because it's really part of the Cuban, people.
Okay, thank you. So, sorry, did you say a traditional Cuban trio?
Yeah, it's a trio. It's Cuban song. Traditional Cuban music is a bass, a guitar, acoustic, and a small percussion.
Okay. Okay, David Green.
Are we talking about music now, or I know you were trying to go through the whole list of questions you
Yes,
have?
I went through everything, so you can ask.
You did.
Yes.
So about the music then, if you're saying acoustic, does that mean amplified?
It will be amplified, but we will have only one speaker on the house, only one speaker, because it's more like about the singing, amplifying the singing, more than the music instruments.
So it's not acoustic.
No, the answer is that it's acoustic. Let's be very specific. Spoken to my client at length about this because I know what's important to the board and the community in terms of any possible types of live music. So traditional Cuban music is a stand-up bass. It's an acoustic guitar and an acoustic percussion. I asked my client about any kind of amplification. He indicated that there would be a small Bose speaker used for singing, not for amplification of the instruments. So it is an acoustic live situation, but if there's an amplification of the voice, I guess technically that's not acoustic.
Could that be captured in the stipulations? I mean, I really,
yeah, I mean,
I'm totally not a fan of being way restrictive about these things.
I mean, we'd
There's
be
a
happy to
concern
indicate
about the noise.
that any amplification would be solely for the vocal, which would be one of the trios, one of the three musicians as well. So this is what I discussed with my client.
Yes,
That would be not a problem.
I'm capturing all of this, David. Okay, David, are you good? I'll put your hand down.
I am, as long as the applicant really understands that this is restrictive. If he's not comfortable with it, he should speak up now, and then I would not push for us to put this in there.
Okay. Can I confirm with you two, the applicants, that that's okay, that the speaker will only be for the singing, not for the instruments? That will be regulations.
I guess, yes, yeah, of course. If I can amplify the other music, I cannot, so.
Okay, yes, we're gonna say that the small speaker will only be used for singing, not for amplification of the instruments.
Very, very.
To be clear, Mr. Applicant, I'm sorry, I missed your name. I would not oppose this application if you found that too restrictive. I just want it to be very clear because it could influence other people.
Well,
don't feel like I'm pressuring. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I love Cuban music. I'm gonna be totally all over your place.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's pretty much sometimes depend on the trio. You know, some of them they use amplifier for the bass, for example, which is the acoustic bass, but they amplify the bass, and some of them no. So if it's a restriction for you guys, I will have to do it. If it's possible not to have that restriction, I would love to have it as well. But I'm fine with whatever you request from me.
Okay.
Michelle, unless someone else on the committee wants it, I don't want the restriction in the words then.
Okay, I'm just writing it in case we need it. Okay.
It's not a restriction in the words. It's just saying that if they're going to have music, that the windows, whatever the windows is, it has to be closed, or the windows have to be closed by 10 o'clock.
Okay. Whenever there's music, there needs to be the windows closed certain.
Yeah, that is actually what stipulation number 2 says. It says, I will close any front or rear facade windows or windows at 10 p.m. every night, or when amplified sound is playing, including but not limited to live.
Thank you, Robbie. I was having a little bit of trouble hearing Herman, so I was just clarifying what he was saying, if it was anything different from that. Okay, so I'm not going to include this. Well, let me see. All right, Ellen's hand is up.
So my comment is also about just clarification for the instruments, because we are in the custom of putting, adding into the stipulations in terms of the type of instruments, whether they're amplified or not, the time period to which music would be played, and then of course as the stipulation has referenced by Herman and the attorney, that windows and doors should be closed when music is playing, amplified or not. So I would like there to be explicit, those things to be explicitly added to the stipulation so that there's clarity.
Okay, so that the doors, because the stipulation says every night or when amplified sound is playing. So you're saying that you want it to be closed even when there's unamplified sound. Oh wait, no, it says that also, or during unamplified live performances.
Say that, but then I just want clarity in terms of the specific instruments, how many instruments, when they'll happen, right? So then we have clarity of what applies when.
Okay. All right, Susan, I see your hands up.
Yeah, a couple of things. So generally, the biggest problem with amplified sound is bass. That's why the noise code was revised. It was revised for bass. So I'm just letting you know from complaints that percussion and bass are the ones that often do cause problems. And I'm saying that in relation to the amplified. As far as the hours, this is unscheduled. So there's actually in the zoning resolution, it actually talks about music, and Ravi can explain all this. It's about music that accompanies dining. It's not scheduled. It's not at any time. It is part of dining and not part of any performance. And I believe that is what they're applying for.
Right, but do we still need to put in the number of days a week, Susan?
Yes, you should put it in the days, but it is during dining.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So here's what I'm writing. This is for, I will not have DJs, promoted events, any event in which a cover fee is charged, scheduled performances. So that includes, but they will have live music. So 7 days a week during dining, traditional Cuban amplified trio at background level, not entertainment level, consisting of a stand-up bass, acoustic guitar, and acoustic percussion. Is that accurate, applicants?
That's accurate.
Okay. Ellen, does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Michelle, can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead, Paul.
Ernesto's the name, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you ever own a place before?
No, I've been managing places in New York for the last 15 years.
And have you ever lived in the Lower East Side? I'm sorry, I'm asking. I just wanna.
If I lived on the Lower East Side?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I worked on the Lower East Side.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Sorry, I was getting a drink of water. Okay. Does anyone else from the committee have any questions? Jesse, Herman?
Have you considered anybody from the neighborhood regarding reopening the space?
Herman, we're having a little bit of trouble hearing you.
Hear me?
You're having a rough tech night. Herman, what you could do is you could turn off the you could just do you want to dial in on the phone and leave your camera on your computer?
Yeah, maybe that's what they're.
Maybe that would be easier. Do you have the dial-in number? Anyone else have any questions? Oh, yes, Herman. Okay. Oh, sorry. I think I know what Herman's question was. Ernesto, did you speak to any people in the community about reopening that space?
No yet. I mean, I spoke to some.
I know that we reached out to the, sorry, I know it's included in the package that we sent an email to all of the local community groups and probably more than necessary, inviting them to speak to me and or Ernesto. I haven't actually heard back from them, but I did send that email out.
Okay.
And that's in the package. I included that email. I sent it on December 23rd.
Okay.
It referenced this meeting specifically.
Okay. So capturing that for the potential resolution. Anyone else from the committee? Oh, David, I see your hands up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm unclear whether we are just, I heard what Ellen was saying. And I would like to be a little less restrictive if possible, but I don't know if we're drafting language now or not. I believe that we should be encouraging live music venues, not concert venues, but of the nature that Ernesto is describing. They're very valuable culturally. And if we put something too restrictive, if we were, for instance, to say, he's described an example of traditional music. If we were to say, live music consisting of 1, 2, 3, then that's too restrictive. In my opinion, I would be against doing that. However, we could want to say something. Ellen said that we traditionally do this. Maybe we could, if we feel the need to, could we say no more than number of musicians or something along that nature, rather than be too restrictive.
Okay.
So that's what I would recommend. If we go that route, I don't know that it's necessary to put that kind of clause in here at all.
Okay.
Or, you could say acoustic, traditional Cuban music.
Oh, it's not acoustic, right? Because we might have
Oh,
amplification.
right. Well, traditional acoustic music, a small band or something like that. I mean, the place is not that big. I don't think he's going to have 3 or 4 people tops. I can't imagine that there'll be more than 4 people and without displacing business. So it's not. Go ahead, Ernesto.
Yeah, that was my comment. The place is very small, so I have no room to put more than 3 people. To very tight 4 people, but I don't see how I can put a band of 5 people there. It's really tiny, and the way we are doing the concept, it's even smaller than what you guys saw before. So it's in reality we'll have maximum 10 tables. We're planning to have like 6 tables in the beginning, and then add and very busy nights a few tables. But there is no way I can put more than 4 people there and play music. So if you want to limit to 3 people, I can do that too, because I don't need more than 3 people there.
Okay. All right. Thank you. David, I'm sort of thinking about for a resolution potentially, whereas the applicant will have live unscheduled performances consisting of a traditional Cuban band of at most. Okay, Susan, go ahead.
They're not scheduled, right?
I wrote live unscheduled performances.
Just say live music. It's,
Okay.
it covers it. I'm going to say historically, it's been very important over the years to describe the instruments being used. This is not to be restrictive, it's to describe them. In this case, it isn't restrictive because they're using the loudest instruments possible anyway. But often we will have people come to us and say, we're going to have a violin and a harp. And that is very different than percussion and a bass. So the description, it's like happy hour. It's not saying we're doing this to be restrictive. We're saying this is what they're planning to do. This is what we're voting on. And it's memorializing it and capturing it. It's not restrictive.
Okay, so I got it. So I have already stand-up bass, acoustic guitar, and acoustic percussion. What would potentially be the 4th instrument if there were 4 musicians there?
Acoustic bass.
Stand-up bass and acoustic bass?
No, I think this acoustic bass is a bass fiddle, which is a stand-up bass. I think that's
This is a stand-up bass.
Okay.
So
Not
that's
a
great.
guitar bass, which is louder.
Right.
Okay, sorry. So
Maybe just the singer. I mean, isn't the singer the 4th musician? If
Okay.
do you ever have a singer in addition to the 3 musicians, Ernesto?
Okay.
There are bands that work like that, but usually the singer will be the guitar player or the bass player.
Okay, so sorry. All right. if you have 4 musicians, what are the 4 musicians?
If I have 4 musicians,
Yes.
a bass, a guitar, percussion, and a singer.
Okay.
If I have 4.
Acoustic guitar, acoustic percussion, and a singer.
Yeah.
And
most of the time, the singer is one of those people that
I understand.
play.
So if at any point it would be 4, it would be because there's a separate vocalist. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Are there any other questions from the committee? Okay. I'm seeing none. Is there anyone from the community that would like to speak on this application? If you are here, put your hand up, please, in the Zoom function. Larissa, did you see anyone sign up in the chat? I don't think I did.
No, I was just looking through. I don't believe anyone specifically mentioned that they were speaking on this item.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I think then we're ready to move on to discussing a potential resolution here. Okay. I'm not going to have the exact language here, but whereas the applicant for 205 Allen Street is applying for a full-on premises liquor license, where say something like, whereas the applicant has not previously been licensed, but has managed, have you managed licensed businesses for how long?
For 15 years here in New York City.
Okay. Whereas the location was previously licensed for a full on-premises liquor license. Whereas the applicant reached out to community groups but didn't receive a response. Whereas the applicant will have live, just listen to the most important part. Whereas the applicant will have live music consisting of a traditional Cuban band of at most 4 musicians playing a stand-up bass, acoustic guitar, and acoustic percussion, and a vocalist at background level. Therefore, be it resolved that Committee Board 3 recommends the denial of the application for a full on-premises liquor license for 250 Allen Street for this applicant for the premises located at 250 Allen Street, unless the applicant agrees before the SLA to make as conditions of its license the following stipulations. It will operate as a full-service restaurant with full kitchen open and serving food during all hours of operation. Its hours of operation will be Monday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. It will not commercially operate any outdoor areas. It will close any front or rear facade entrance doors at 10 p.m. every night or when amplified. I think we need to change this one, but
I would say when any music is
okay, yeah,
live music, when a live music is.
Sorry, I was reading off the traditional ones. Including to when every night or when any live music is playing, including but not limited to DJs, live music, and live non-musical performances, or during unamplified live performances or televised sports, and will otherwise have a closed fixed facade with no open doors or windows. Does that sound right?
That's our stipulation.
Okay, yeah, I just changed it a little bit, but
it's not, but the thing is, it's already on the stipulation. The wording is already on the stipulation they're signing.
Okay.
My addition sounded like it was not necessary based on the longer list that you read.
Yeah, but this is standard, so I think people don't.
That's standard.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to stop commenting so much because I realize I need to absorb what the community does every time.
Okay, so just or when any live music is playing. That's it. That's all we need.
Live.
Yes.
Okay. It will play ambient background music only, consisted of recorded music and unscheduled live music, and will not have DJs, promoted events, scheduled performances, or any event at which a covered fee is fully charged. It will not apply for any alteration in its method of operation or for any physical alterations without first appearing before Committee Board 3. It will not host pub crawls or party buses. It will not have unlimited drink specials with food. It will not have, may have happy hours to 8 p.m. each night. It will ensure that there are no wait lines outside and will designate an employee to oversee patrons and noise on the sidewalk. And it will conspicuously post a stipulation inside of its business, and it will provide its number for residents to call with complaints. Okay. David, I see your hand up.
Yeah, so I would move that we do this, but also I want to make sure that you have reverted to the standard language about when the windows are closed.
Okay, so the standard
language covered the concern that we had.
Okay. So it will, hold on a second. Let me just pull it from another one.
You want me to read it from the stip?
Yeah, I can't copy paste from the stipulations because the PDF. I'm gonna pull it from a different resolution. Hold on. It will close any front or rear facade entrance doors at 10 p.m. every night or when amplified sound is playing, including but not limited to DJs, live music, and live non-musical performances, or during unamplified live performances or televised sports, and will otherwise have a closed fixed facade with no open doors or windows. Yes? Okay. All right. David, is your hand still up or just up from before? Okay. Anyone else have anything on this?
Did it say that they would have to close in any case, any windows at 10 o'clock?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Seeing no other debate on this.
I just have a question regarding the hours of operation. It's 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. 7 days a week.
Yeah, they asked for 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. every night. Any other questions?
Can I ask the committee, is that typical what we would do at the intersection like that one, which is two pretty big roads, Houston and Allen?
Yes.
It's a concern that I would have looking at the application, because usually, it's usually till, midnight, the latest on a Monday, let's say, right? Because usually you might not have patrons, and some restaurants tend to close earlier, even if their hours are till 2 a.m. So I'm just thinking this over as to whether or not obviously there's a preference to stay open as late as possible, but whether or not, they're amenable for between, Monday or even Sunday to Thursday, closing earlier as opposed to later.
I agree with Ellen.
We're hopeful that the hours will be usable, because the hope is that people will want to eat this food and or order this food or take out this food, this Latin food, this Cuban food up until 2 a.m. It's not unheard of for people to eat late. So the hope is that they can do as much business as possible when they're allowed to at this point. But given that it's a restaurant, they're not asking for, bar type 4 a.m. Hours at all.
Okay. Anyone else? Is that a deal breaker, Ellen, or?
No, for me, I would say I'm interested in doing what the committee typically does on a commercial. This is really two commercial roads. I would like to see us standardize these kinds of things. Personally, I would not be against 2 a.m.
Okay.
Usually, based on my experience, it depends on the area, the placement. We generally used to think about the broader street with a little more leniency than if it's in somewhere in the middle of a small street. I mean, or a residential street. So for me, the 3 o'clock only, I would say on Sunday, at least one day Sunday, when everybody goes to bed early to go to work next day, that, you know, if it was less than 2 o'clock. But I favor sometimes during the week because nothing happens, even with Cuban restaurant, and everybody say that their food is better than the other and it will bring ambience and stuff. But my experience is that from Sunday to at least Wednesday, nothing happens that much. And that should be part of our deliberation, and that only Thursday, Friday, and Saturday should have the higher, you know, closing hours.
But kind of on that note though, Herman, is like if it is closing, if it is slower anyway, then they'll be closing, or it's not like there'll be some like ruckus that's going to 2 a.m. if they have to have closed anyway. And I do put on that there is a large, well, there was a large portion of the city that works in the restaurant and bar industry, and they are on a different kind of schedule. So I just want to keep that in mind too, because for many years I was on an opposite schedule as everyone else and trying to accommodate that as well. So I would be okay with the 2 a.m. If it dissuades the board, I could be altered the other way for at least the first portion of the week. But if we predict it being a slow restaurant anyway, I don't know that they'd always stay open till 2.
Jesse. Yeah, I mean, it seems like this is the intent is to stay open so that they can do food delivery. And if Herman's saying that this is a traditionally 2 a.m. sort of situation, then I'm fine with it too. So Herman, would you be okay voting yes on this with the 2 a.m. close every night?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any other folks want to say anything? Okay.
I concur with Herman. I think the other element to add in our deliberation is whether or not the applicant is experienced. And I think that's usually, if this is a new operator, then, that requires a little bit of added concern, although that's not, an absolute no, of course.
Okay. Okay. All right, well, I'm not seeing any other hands up, so I'm going to go into, hearing no other debate, I'm going to go into a roll call vote. Michelle Cooper-Smith, yes. Alex Napoletano, absent. Ellen Liu?
Yes.
Thank you. Herman Hewitt?
Yes.
David Crane?
Yes.
Thank you. Jesse Beck?
Yes.
Paul Sierras?
Yes.
Thank you all. Okay, so the office will send you the stipulations tomorrow morning and you will have to sign and return them to the office.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much. Appreciate it. Good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think someone needed to second that.
Actually, a second just means we're going to allow it to be discussed. Once discussion begins, it is a second.
Thank you. Okay. I'm going to move on to applicant number 13, 199 Bowery. Are the applicants here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Hi. Are you the only person here on behalf of the applicant?
I believe I have my partner AJ also on.
Okay. AJ Bontempo?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I see him. Okay, I'm just going to drop this full application into the chat so everyone can take a look at it as I go through it. Here you go. Okay. This is an application for a new on-premises license for an entity that will be formed at 199 Bowery. The proposed hours of operation are all days indoor 11 a.m. to 4 a.m., outdoors 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. This applicant is previously licensed at 6 other licensed establishments. There is a previous license at the location, full on premises. I believe that the previous stipulations was the ground floor closed at 1 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday, 2 a.m. Thursday through Saturday, and 3 a.m. basement all days. We received 3 letters in sorry, let me just double check this. We received several, I don't want to put a number on it, but I think we received at least 3 letters of opposition and 1 in support. And this will be an Italian osteria with a wine bar. The kitchen will be open from 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. Sorry, I'm just looking back and forth. And there's already soundproofing installed. I just have a couple of questions for the applicants that I did not see. So you said that you will be having 1 DJ. Is that no more than 1 DJ per week?
Yeah, that was, I didn't really understand what that actually meant. It was kind of weird. But yeah. We have DJs for Saturday and Sunday brunch. And we have DJs usually Friday and Saturday nights, again, only for ambient music. Instead of having the music come out of my, iTunes, we're having a DJ kind of play it, but we don't put any subwoofers in the system. It's definitely a restaurant, but instead of it being from your phone or from your computer, it actually is more of an entertainment factor than anything else. Okay.
And I asked this question specifically because of the history of the location as a club, which I have been to, so I know how loud.
Yes.
Okay, so then I'm going to so that'll be ambient recorded background music only though, but the DJ will be playing it. Okay.
100%. Right.
Okay. They will not participate in pub crawls or have party buses. Are you going to be having unlimited drink specials, including boozy brunches with food?
Well, we, at all of our restaurants right now, we have 4 restaurants in operation. There's Osteria Cotta on the Upper West Side on Columbus between 84th and 85th. At Folia, there's Folia on 17th Street and 3rd Avenue. There's Carroll Place, which is on Bleecker Street between Thompson and Sullivan. And then there's Ainsley, which is in Williamsburg, right on Ainsley Street.
Right.
So all of our restaurants have what we call you can call it boozy brunch. We call it an hour and a half of brunch cocktails with food. Okay. And we would do the same. We have not had any issues with our neighbors for years. And I've been doing this for a very long time.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I just want to double check because that's one of our stipulations, and I know it's not in the application right now. So, okay. And if you will have happy hour, will end at 5 p.m. You will not have wait lines. They'll have a staff person, and they're going to conspicuously post this, and residents can contact a manager. Is everything that I said correct?
I believe you have it all right.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to the committee first. If you have any questions or comments or concerns about this application. Okay, I see Susan's
Okay,
hand. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Herman.
that place has an history. Did you the condo owners, have you spoken to anybody in that building?
Yes, so we actually met with the condo board on Monday. We actually did a Zoom meeting with the condo board, and we explained to them what we're planning to do there. And they seemed pretty receptive as long as we did what we said we're going to do. We have a venue in Brooklyn called Ainsley, which is 10,000 square feet. And we're looking to kind of replicate that in this space. So we did meet with the board. They are not all, they said that they have a lot of condo owners. The next step would be for us to kind of make a presentation to the condo owners. But that would be our next step. They were very receptive in the one conversation we had, the Zoom call on Monday. We met with Ricky, Sabella, and Corbin, and another person, Yuval, right.
And we even we kind of addressed some of their concerns today. Sergio and I met with them over at the space, and we sort of walked around the basement to try to find out where some of the noise was coming from, to try to address any of their concerns. Those are just for the board members.
Yeah, with
Thanks, Herman. Ellen, I see you have your hand up.
So I just want to give the applicants an opportunity to present their idea to us so that we have a better idea of really what their concept is, and at the same time being able to, and hopefully address some of the concerns that your neighbors and your potential neighbors and the community have already expressed.
So Michelle, did you get any other information? There was a deck, like an Ainsley deck, that we sent. If you maybe put that up for me.
Yeah, sure. Is it the deck version 2?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So, like I said before, well, actually, I've been doing restaurants in New York City since 1995. My first restaurant was Candela, which was on 16th Street between Park and Irving. We also owned the diner in the Meatpacking District from 2005 to 2017. We also had so anyway, we had like I said to you before, we had the osteria on the Upper West Side, the one in Gramercy, and the Carroll Place in the Village, and Ainsley in Brooklyn. So what we're hoping to do is to take what we're doing in Brooklyn and bring it to New York City. So if you go to the second page of you'll kind of see a little bit of the feel that we're looking to do. There's 3 or 4 different areas in the space. There's in Brooklyn, there's the front part of the restaurant, which is open kitchen with a wine bar. That'd be one room. We're looking to do that in the back of this space because the kitchen's in the back of the space. That kitchen didn't have an open. If you could maybe go to the floor plan, it's maybe easier for you to see. Okay, great. So on the floor plan, that's the main floor. On the left side, you'll see what would be the outdoor cafe. They kind of cut it off in half. the front door. You come in through the front door. We'd have a host stand there. To the right would be, we're going to turn this into our kind of garden area. Although this is indoor, it's connected to the outdoor space. So it'd be an indoor, outdoor kind of garden feel with a lot of trees, and there'll actually be trees in the space. There'll be vines, and there'll be a lot of planters. Very similar. We'll go through the pictures of Ainsley, but you'll be able to get a feel of what the room's going to look like. From that room, you go to the middle room, and this is our beer room, our beer hall, we'll call it, and it's going to be a bar with beer tables here, communal tables. And then you go into the back room, and that's where the existing kitchen is. We're going to open up the wall, put another bar in front of the kitchen. So from when you sit at the bar, you'll actually see there'll be a wood burning oven, pizza oven. They're connected to the rest of the kitchen. So when you're sitting at the bar, you'll be able to see the cooks cooking, the pizza oven on, and then you'll be able to, and then you'll have your more of a, let's call it, formal dining room right in that room as well. If you go to some of the imaging pages, maybe go back. So that page, this page here shows you what we're going for as far as the look of the front cafe. We're going to put high shrubs there. I mean, we all know that street is particularly bad, especially now with all the homeless people. But we would hope to create a little bit of a sanctuary feel with high shrubs, and then extend that into the open cafe. If you go to the next page, that might have some images. Keep going, please. That's still the same room. Okay, this picture here shows our beer bar in the back with the kind of beer hole, but this ends up being our backyard of Ainsley. But it's the same type of seating. You could see 2 people there. You could see 5 people there. It's kind of communal. We do some parties with 6, 8, up to 10 people could be at a table. Keep going to the next image, please. Keep going. I mean, we actually have a roof deck, which we would not have. We do have a roof deck in Ainsley, but we do not have that. We would not have that here. And go to the next, keep going. Okay, so here, I'm looking for the living room pictures. I don't really see them. Yeah, so, keep going. All right. There was another file I believe I sent that had inspiration. Did you see that one? Yeah, that one, inspiration board.
Yeah.
So again, this is kind of what the feel and look of the venue that we're going to be going for. That's kind of the feel. This is the front room, which would be the back room. That's the tables in the front. That's the bar, and behind the bar, you have your open kitchen. If you go down, I think to the page below that, it shows actually some other images. That's a rear garden, which we're going to try to make the front cafe and front room look like that. And keep going down. That's again the wine bar with the open kitchen, the same feel we're going for that we discussed. This is what we're looking to do in the cellar, is create more of a cozier lounge feel with a cocktail bar down there. Keep going down. That would be the beer bar in the back. And I think if you go, here you go. This one you can see a little bit better angle of what we do. And again, we have these living room spaces in 3 of the 4 restaurants. Cotta has its living room. Carol Place has a living room, and Ainsley has a living room. We use this for a lot for private parties. Could be a bridal shower, engagement party, rehearsal dinners, corporate events. Again, it's again, ambient music, and I mean, the busy, of course, the busy nights would be your Thursday, Friday, Saturdays pretty much. So that's kind of an idea. If you want to go back to the floor plan, I think you get the feel of what we're looking to do. If you go back to the cellar, which is the next page down, I believe, or a couple of, this one, this is the cellar. Again, this would be your bar, and then it's going to be all these kind of like couches with low coffee tables. And that's basically the design. They used to be a nightclub down here. We're not looking to do a nightclub. They would have, so we're looking to have the same background music and have it be more of a lounge with a craft cocktail bar.
Okay, let's go on the outside.
Sure.
There is a traffic situation that exists there for traffic coming from the Lancey Street and from the Manhattan Bridge and stuff. So that's a quite busy corridor.
Right.
What kind of situation that you will develop to, for instance, when all the taxis or whatever pulls up there? We're talking about maybe after COVID, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
So what kind of traffic mitigation process would you set up to alleviate all that honking and stuff that my experience approving the other clubs that were there before?
Right.
And this now, have you considered that? Is that part of your application here?
The places prior, they had different business model than we have. I know that it was more geared towards nightclub, where more people are sort of exiting at the same time on a nightclub type places, where we don't have any of those issues. I know the other places are smaller. Ainsley in Williamsburg is 10,000 square feet, so it's not a small place, and we don't have any traffic issues. People come and go at different times, as opposed to what the last 2 prior locations. There were more nightclub geared places where they are squeezed into hours where a lot of people are leaving at the same time or coming at the same time. So we don't really generally expect to have those same issues.
Yeah, and the condo board did bring up this point about people coming in at the same time or waiting online to get in. That typically happens when you're selling tickets and everyone comes in, they have to pay to get in. We're not doing any paid admission, so we're not going to have a line. People are going to come in, they're going to have a reservation. We're going to make sure to set it up where the right amount of guests need to come in when they come, and we don't expect there to be lines. And of course, people getting Ubers or taxis and all that. But again, we've done this for many, many years, and we've done it on smaller streets. I mean, Bowery is still a wide street. It's a busy street. I mean, Ainsley, we're literally on a side street, and there's only one lane. I mean, at least Bowery has your parking, your kind of parking lane, and then there's 2 other lanes. So we haven't had this issue before, and I don't really see us having this issue here.
And again, just to touch one more time on, we're also not going to have lineups of people trying to get into a place that has a strict door policy kind of things. That's not the kind of operation that we run. So therefore, there's not going to be groups of people waiting outside.
Right.
Thank you. Okay, Susan's had her hand up for a while. Susan, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I think it's premature to hear this application. The co-op board always weighs in on the application. They haven't had their final meeting yet. The stipulations will have to address concerns from the co-op board, who's in the process of doing that. So we tell people, we encourage them to work out things with. There always will be some issues with the people that live above. I've lived with this business a long time and tried to work with some of the people. And I would suggest the committee not vote without until they finalize their issues with the co-op board and hear from the co-op board. The two other things, as far as the boozy brunches, traditionally the board never approves boozy brunches because they are always a problem. It's how much can you drink in an hour and a half? I can't remember the last time we approved one. I do remember the last time an applicant refused to agree to that. It went to the SLA and the SLA supported us. Just a comment about the traffic, the 5th precinct, there will be traffic problems. The 5th precinct always works with the business to try different things to mitigate as much as possible. But I really don't understand, without hearing the concerns of the co-op board, how you can create a resolution of stipulations.
Okay, thanks, Susan. I sort of tend to agree. It seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, but traditionally the applicants for this space have received some sort of letter of approval or support from the co-op, the condo board. Is that accurate?
Well, it's not so much the condo board as the residents themselves.
The condo, they are. It's a very small involved group. It's the same people.
Okay.
Well, we did meet with the condo board, and even the gentleman that we met with today was, he just assumed that we were already through this process. He wasn't even concerned with that at all.
You haven't finished meeting with them, right?
We met with the board, yes.
To them. So after you present to them, you should get either a letter of support or a letter of concerns from them. They have 100% of the time weighed in the past.
So we did meet with them. We just need to get a letter of.
Well, we can have that. We can probably have a letter generated to you guys. I would imagine in the next 48 hours.
So didn't you say you have to have a final meeting with them?
They said the condo owners themselves.
They said we're just a board. We can't speak for everybody, but the meeting went very well in our experience. So we could probably get them to generate a letter for us if that would help.
But it doesn't. The thing is, they're voting on stipulations tonight. They can't address any concerns without.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, and I'll just say that we did get a couple of letters from tenants with concerns.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you've had a chance to speak with them. I think some of them might be here tonight. I don't know, what's the committee feeling about this? David, I see your hands up.
I've got 3 parts. I would like to see them withdraw until next month, first of all, and then I had 2 other thoughts, which were.
Okay, well, let me just pull the committee. Herman, go ahead.
No, we're saying that, there is a long history of stuff that happens in this building where the condo board, which is just a couple of people, approve something, and the landlord, who owns the condo space that they're renting, and I remember the first time we approved it, not knowing that there was not that of a cohesive approval in the building. And then we spend hours and hours and years trying to figure out, what the problem is in that building. So, and I just heard someone say that there's a second point of going to speak to some additional people in the building. I wish they'll do that, but if they haven't, I'd rather they go and do it now before we approve anything.
Okay. Okay.
I think I would sort of echo that, just because we've always found in every committee and the community board that when you work with the people, even if everyone's not like 100% happy with the outcome, at least you have a working relationship. So especially since we got so many letters from folks who live in the condo directly above, I think it just behooves everyone to do that. I know it's annoying and it takes a month and everything, but I think in the long run, it works out better for everybody. And it seems like you guys are really conscientious operators, so that would probably be the, you know, the conscientious thing to do. Does anyone else on the committee want to weigh in there? Ellen or Paul or Jesse?
So I walk down the Bowery a lot more than I do now, and yes, there's all sorts of craziness that happens generated by vandal and a couple of surrounding establishments and other things as well. It's just not an easy couple of blocks to work with. So it is a bit concerning in and of itself, but also that you're appearing in front of us without, you know, approval or, you know, agreement from the residents in your building, the board. And so it would just be helpful if we have these things clear and as part of your application before making a consideration, right? And of course, you know, other considerations as well. So I'm sure you want us to have as much information as possible in terms of, you know, whether I'm sure, you know, pro application. So then it would be in support of you guys, right? If you guys are able to do that. So that would help your case. But again, like, it's helpful for us to have all this information.
I just wanted to say we do appreciate the time, and we're not naive enough to think that this is not a bit of an uphill battle because of the last two tenants that were in this space. So we are very aware of them. We want to have as much community outreach as possible. Due to COVID, it was a little different. In community meetings past, we would go around and get signed petitions, and that wasn't kind of on the table this time. So we did meet with the condo board after trying to get in touch with them. It took us a little while to try to get in touch with them. And during that, we did state that we wanted to try to get information on the people in the building. We sort of said it's kind of up to the board to notify them, to have them contact us instead of giving us everybody's information. So we were trying to be proactive, and we do understand that it's going to be, we have to win some people over in the building because they are rightfully concerned because of what they've been through for the last, I don't know, probably 15 years in this space. So we are aware of it. We're not naive to it. We do want to have outreach, and we appreciate it. You know?
I think, yeah. Is everyone, I mean, would you be willing to withdraw this tonight and come back once you've done more outreach? Is that an option, or do you want us to go to a resolution? Or sorry, do you want us to go to more debate on this? Because we've seen, I don't know if you've ever come in front of this community board, but sometimes we can just do this for hours without ever coming to a resolution because we don't feel like we have the comfort or all the facts or whatever. And like I said, it seems like you're conscientious and experienced. And so it's not going to be like you said, having conversations with the tenants will, I think, go very, very, very far for you.
I agree. And my only concern, although it's kind of a moot point, but my only concern is the timing. Do we have to wait another month to get in front of you, or can we maybe see you when you see the full board? Give us a week, because I mean, we have a landlord to worry about as well. That is, you know, we're already taking a lot of time, so it's just in the interest of trying to be fair to everybody. I'm wondering the timing on that.
Sure. Susan, do you want to weigh in on the rules?
Most of the landlords understand, I'm sure you have a good guy clause, that it doesn't go forward without community board approval. So yes, it has to be a month because it has to be posted on the agenda. and the people in the co-op have to meet with you, make an agreement and all that. So it would be, and it's not that uncommon for this to happen, to withdraw, not go to the SLA, and we'll put you back on the agenda for next month.
I mean, the other point that is kind of important for us is our brunches that we are doing at all of our spaces. And you can check with all the community boards, you can check with all of our neighbors, and we don't have any 311 calls. And we've been proving ourselves for a very long time in New York City, and we've never had any issues.
If I could just interrupt, if you're going to come back next month, there's no reason to be going through that now.
Okay, I'm just saying.
And again, that's a case that you can, if I know Susan said that we haven't approved a boozy brunch in many years, but if that's something that you can get support from your, it might change our mind.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so that is an option to get. It's not like it's going to be a no anyway. So that's the case.
Everything is an option. I'm not saying it'll definitely happen, but it seems like if you try and go forward with that tonight, that will certainly not.
Okay. Okay. All right. Then we'll have to do what we have to do and get back to you in a month.
I know. I'm sorry. I know it sucks. I know time is money, but unfortunately, for transparency purposes, we have very set agendas so that the community knows when things will come in front of us. So we can't just add stuff willy-nilly. We're pretty strong on that. I know that there are residents that want to speak, but I'm just not sure if it makes sense just because we're not going to consider this tonight. And we've already spent a lot of time on it and they're going to come back next month. Can you guys can you give your emails to the applicants, or if you want to talk to them directly? I think that might make more sense.
And can I just touch on Danielle? I see that you're on here, and I had a conversation with your father. He emailed me. I had a phone conversation with him. I'm happy to meet with you and address any concerns, or we could do it, offline or online, whatever you want to do it over this period of time. We're pretty concerned, so we want to make sure that we can cohabitate.
Yeah, that would be great. We get to
Okay, great. So you guys already have each other's contact info.
The applicant's contact information is on our website. So if you go under the questionnaires, that's the reason we put it there.
Okay. Okay, great. And Malad, I know that you're an attorney, I think, for one of do you have the applicant's information is online, you can reach out to them directly, is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. Robert and Danielle are my clients. That's fine.
Okay, great. Sorry, a lot of letters
That's okay.
this week,
If
so, all
anyone
right.
has problems with contact, you can email me at the office.
Yeah, okay. Is the committee okay with this? I mean, the applicants, I guess, have said that they're going to withdraw. Is that accurate, AJ and Sergio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we have to cut down some of this discussion with the applicants. They go round and round again, and time is of the essence.
So I think that they can come back with a stronger case next month, and it'll cut down on the discussion a lot, especially if they're able to work it out with the neighbors.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming tonight.
Thank you all.
We'll likely see you soon.
Great.
Yes,
Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Can I ask one question?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's kind of to you or Susan, the committee. Do we use the word boozy brunch as a technical term? To me, it sounds like shorthand for, 2-hour all-you-can-drink special. Is that,
it's in our stipulations. They're called boozy brunches in our stipulations.
Seriously?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's not like the brunch where I can buy a $8 cocktail.
No,
or is it?
It's a term that we use in the stipulations to mean an unlimited drink special.
Okay, well, perhaps we could clear that up.
Yeah.
Is there going to be an unlimited drink special at your brunches?
Yes, that's also in the stipulations.
It is.
It's also
Okay.
separately in the stipulations.
Got a lot to learn. Sorry for interrupting.
Yes, you need to read the steps.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Okay. All right, all right, so moving on to the next one, are the applicants for number 14, 127 4th Avenue Restaurant on?
Here, Robert Romano, and I'm here with Naftali Avinam.
Okay.
Here.
All right, thank you for your patience as we work our way through all these.
Not a problem.
I'm going to drop the full application in the chat if folks would like to follow along.
I would like to clarify one thing I noticed in the application, which
Okay, let me just pull up
Yep.
my stipulations for him. Okay, go ahead. What would you like to clarify?
Just on page 4 of 4, question 3, by checking off the initial box, the person who prepared this assumed that it meant everything else. So he will not have DJs, live music, promoted events, any event cover. All those boxes would be checked.
Okay, thank you. And the other question, will you be having unlimited drink specials, including boozy brunches with
No.
food? Okay, and I'll just say for the committee, I'm revising, the office has helped me to revise the application so that it's a little bit clearer with the stipulations and more aligned with what the application right now does not actually match up with the stipulations form that we send to the SLA. So we're gonna match that up.
Got it.
Hopefully it'll be a lot easier for everyone going forward. Okay, well, let me start here. So this is an applicant for a new on-premises license at 127 4th Avenue. Proposed hours of operation are Sunday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Thursday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Fridays closed, Saturday sundown to 2 a.m. These applicants are previously licensed at Mocha Burger on LaGuardia Place. I guess that's like Soho, Greenwich Village, I'm not sure. This is a previously licensed location. And this will be a kosher hamburger restaurant, just so that everyone knows kosher food is an accepted benefit in CB3. So this will be operated as a full service restaurant with a kitchen open at all times. There's already soundproofing installed. They will close all rear and front facades at 10 p.m. Recorded background music only, as the applicant clarified. They will not participate in pub crawls, no drink specials. If they have happy hours, they'll end at 6, no wait lines. Yeah, and then all the other standard ones. Is all of that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
The only difference, just let me enter, the only difference is that it's a steakhouse. It's not a burger place.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And oddly enough, this had been called Bar Bacon, and now it's a
I
kosher.
know, I noticed that. I thought that was kind of ironic. I mentioned it to Susan. There's a pig on the door. Okay. All righty. And let me just pull up. The committee has all the 311 calls and all that fun stuff, I believe, from this location. Or I think that maybe there weren't any from this location. I think that there's only one at their other location in the West Village or in the Village Soho in 2019 that was, police responded and determined that there was nothing to do.
Right.
Police action was not warranted. Okay.
Right. My understanding is it's got a totally clean history.
Okay.
So.
Thank you. So everything's correct? That's all good?
Yep.
Okay, great. Does the committee have any questions for the applicants or, sorry, my boyfriend's making steak in the background, ironically enough. Does anyone have any questions from the committee?
Do you have any open facade?
The
open.
doors, go ahead.
Sorry, open.
That are French doors?
There's accordion doors in the front to be used for like an outdoor patio.
Okay.
That's about it. That's
right.
about
Those
it.
will be 4 small tables of 2 people per table.
Correct.
Okay. If we approve that, I would like that to be got closed at 10 o'clock. If that's in the stipulation.
That's fine.
What kind of music that do you intend to have in there?
Bistro music. It's instrumental.
Instrumental like what?
Like bistro music, like jazz, French bistro. Nothing too crazy. This is a kosher. Yeah, recorded. Yeah. There's no live music or anything like that. This is a kosher restaurant. The crowd is Orthodox. We're not partiers or anything like that. This is a super high-end
The
steakhouse.
level of the music, number one, will be conversational, and the price points of this place will be significant. Frankly, they're not going to draw. A student from NYU is not likely. Oh, I shouldn't say that totally, but they're going to be going for a higher end market, an older.
Okay, which also say most neighborhood people cannot afford your prices, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what I want to know.
Thanks for
how much. I'm not looking at the thing right now because I can't get it on the stuff. So what's the accommodation? Tables, chairs,
Yeah, tables, low tops. It's low tops and the bar. That's just about it. So
You
it's
have
all going to
30,
be
just, I think he wants to know the numbers. You've got 34 tables inside, 4 I mentioned outside, with 108 seats inside and 8 on the exterior. The bar is 40 feet long and seats 20 people.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just typing. Ellen, go ahead.
What time is sundown? It changes seasonally, but I think the SLA.
It changes daily. It changes daily. I mean, sundown changes daily.
It's usually hours of operation, we need an exact time.
In the summer, obviously it's much later. But in the winter, like right now, sundown is about 6 o'clock. In the winter, it tends to be at 8-ish on average, but it keeps on changing.
And I would think that your customers would want to leave
Ranges
significantly
between
before
4:30
sunset.
and 8:30 throughout the year.
Yeah, we could say that.
So I think for your hours of operation, we need an exact time, not a concept.
Well, the earliest would be, I would say 5 p.m. by the time that we open up. That's the earliest.
On a Saturday, you're talking about.
On a Saturday, correct. We do not open for lunch. And on Friday, we're closed.
No later than 5 p.m. Is that right, Ellen? I'm trying to think about how you.
No earlier.
No earlier than 5 p.m. on a Saturday.
All right, thank you. 5 p.m. Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Don't take me as an authority on when the earliest sundown is, but I do kind of know these things. But so, okay, look it up with the Chabad people if you.
I graduated high school with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I should know this.
Right. Or we could all download the app.
And sorry, how many seats are there at the bar?
20 seats at the bar.
27
20.
or 20?
20.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else from the committee have any questions? Jesse, Paul? Okay. All right, I see one member of the community here to speak. Well, actually, I know that someone dropped in the chat that they supported this, but they had Deroy Murdoch said that he supported it, but he would have to drop off. We didn't receive any other letters to the community board. All right, Scott, Larissa, do you mind pulling up the timer? Thank you. All right, Scott McGuire, you are up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. These guys sound great and everything. I've lived across the street from this location for over 20 years, and we've been burned over and over and over again with noise pollution here. CB3 and especially Susan Stetzer was very helpful with Bar Bacon because they broke the rules and stipulations and the things they promised over and over again. They left their doors open late. They blasted music and televisions. When their business started failing, they started offering dollar mimosas in the morning instead of having an all-you-can-drink boozy brunch. And noise was an issue over and over again. I remember literally getting out of bed around midnight on more than one occasion to have to call the manager repeatedly to finally get him to answer when I had to be up at 5 in the morning to get them to close the French doors. So without judging these people in advance, this is another place that came in that owned a previous location, another place that came in and said they were a high-end food place, and they ended up causing a big noise problem. The only saving grace was that they weren't allowed to have any outdoor dining and drinking, even though they did at one point try to illegally annex the sidewalk in a similar manner to what these guys are proposing, putting that 4-table outdoor cafe out there. And when people were eating and drinking out there, noise was an additional problem. So as a neighbor, as a long-term veteran of this block, I would only support a liquor license without a sidewalk cafe. And if they can't do it without a sidewalk cafe, then maybe this isn't the neighborhood for them. So that's basically my 2 cents. And also on the application, if they are granted a sidewalk cafe, you know, what are the hours for the sidewalk cafe? What are they going to do to guarantee to have all staff completely finished by a certain time? Because moving furniture in and out is also a disruptive noise. So what time would that be over by? The other issue I have with the sidewalk cafe is that the DCA enforcement of sidewalk cafes is almost non-existent. We've had a problem with one across the street on the west side of the street overstepping their bounds for years.
Scott, I apologize, but we are at the time limit.
Understood, no problem.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Susan, do you want to weigh in about how we should deal? I know that the stipulation about outdoor space is a little tricky right now because of the executive order.
So is the issue that they want to have a sidewalk cafe? Is that the issue?
That's the issue for me. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
So we actually
4 tables outside with 8 seats.
Okay, so they can't apply for a sidewalk cafe right now, because that has to go through the City Department of Consumer Affairs. This is an application for a state liquor license. It is not an application for a sidewalk cafe for consumer affairs. Because of the executive order, of course, they could have tables outside right now. That is sort of.
Oh, Susan, you just dropped off. I think basically is that this application does not actually adjudicate whether or not you can have an outdoor space, but you know, what we learned from Monday is that if we check, you know, I will not use outdoor space for commercial use, that means that you won't be able to get an outdoor dining under open restaurants. So we would not, I personally would not want to do that. That doesn't seem fair.
The outdoor area is also an integral part of his business plan, in that it's not just the 8 tables, but you get the draw to the restaurant from people sitting outside. And
right. No, yeah, I understand.
Well, you said
Susan,
4 tables and now you're saying 8 tables. So
sorry, Scott, it's not appropriate for you to speak right now. I apologize, but
okay.
the committee will deal with this. Thank you. Susan, are you back? No, she is not. Okay, no, I'm just saying that, you know, we don't actually adjudicate whether or not you have outdoor space. So
we don't want to give up that right.
Does the committee have any questions about that particular item? Or
Well,
anything else?
the sidewalk cafe, the sidewalk cafe is a separate application. It had nothing to do with the order from the city or state right now. But usually there's only a limited, I think it's only 4 seats that can be on the sidewalk at any given time. Without have to apply for a sidewalk cafe, but it's not part of this application, so we don't deal with it.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Susan's back. Okay, any other questions from the committee about this? We've already heard from the only person from the community.
Very sorry. Should I continue or not?
I think we basically, that this is not the place to adjudicate whether or not there's going to be a sidewalk cafe. Perfect. Is that accurate?
That right,
Okay.
and the city is not accepting applications right now, so that's all delayed.
Yeah, basically moot. Okay, thank you. All right, any other things from the community, or sorry, from the committee?
I don't need an answer. It's not appropriate, but I'm curious how you cost a place called Bar Bacon.
Very expensive, Rabbi.
Yeah. May I just say one thing?
Go for it. Yeah.
If anybody has any doubts, and I have done this, go look at his restaurants, and they're nothing like the way Bar Bacon was described. It's orderly, quiet, nice, and comfortable places to go. I think that if anybody wants, walk over to LaGuardia Place, take a look, and you'll find that once he opens.
Michelle, this is Larissa. I would like to second that. I've been to both Mocha Burger places. I'm a huge fan of them. They're very sweet. They're very quiet, and the food is scrumptious. Love the lamb sliders.
Thank you, Larissa. Can I ask if you notified any block associations or community groups that are posted on the CB3 website?
No, we did do the posting though, and I can forward you a photograph.
Okay.
I think I did already. We should have it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just typing that. All right. Any other questions from the committee?
It's just a statement I want to make based on the method of operation. I don't want, I will vote for it, I'll say now, but I don't think the business as it shows any community benefits. I just want that's on the record that that's what I think.
Okay, thanks, Herman. Susan, is the kosher food as a community benefit? Is that?
Well, we don't need to weigh in on that. You know, traditionally that has been used as the one example that we use. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I wasn't looking for a discussion in it. I just want to make it.
Sorry, no, I understand. I just want to make sure everyone. Thank you, Herman. Anyone else from the committee? Okay. Okay, I'm going to move that we go into the making of a resolution. David's not unmuting himself, so that means I think I maybe did it okay. Okay. So again, I won't have the exact language, but whereas this applicant for 127 4th Avenue has operated a similar location located at, I got it in my cheat sheet somewhere. What's the address, sorry, of your other location? LaGuardia?
496.
496 LaGuardia Place with minimal noise complaints. Okay. And how long have you operated that location?
5 years now.
Okay. So since 2016?
Mhm.
Okay. Whereas one member of the community spoke in favor of the application and one, how would you phrase like whereas one said, I mean, I think I would take Scott's as like, I'm supportive as long as they stick to their stipulations. Is that appropriate to include in there, Susan, or she walked away? Herman, what would you think about adding that to the resolution?
Repeat that, Michelle.
Well, I'm just wondering if we should add in that one member of the community spoke in favor of the application, but one, another community member noted that a previous location left their facade open past 10 p.m. and began offering discounted drink specials.
Yeah, we're talking about this applicant. He was talking about previous tenant at the.
Right. No, I understand, but something that we put in our resolutions is just like sort of as an educational thing for the existing applicants. Yeah. Okay.
I think we should also note that the only community outreach they did was to post on window or building or whatever, but it's not like active out.
Yep, I've got that. So whereas the applicant did not reach out to any of the relevant block associations or community groups listed on the CB3 website, but did post a notice on at the location.
Are there any community groups in that area?
Oh, good question, Susan.
Thought there was one.
Because the only person I've ever been in contact with regarding that business has been Scott. With all the problems, when it came to all the previous problems, Scott was the only one that ever contacted the board.
Yeah. Okay, I was looking. Yeah, you might be right. And just like, because I think this came up on Monday as well, is that applicants are not required to do individual outreach to the people. They are asked to do outreach to the listed community groups, and any community group can list themselves, can ask to be listed on the website. Is that all accurate, Susan?
That's perfect.
Okay. So then I don't think it's appropriate to include that in the resolution because there are no community groups to reach out to.
Correct.
Okay. Whereas there will be 34 tables inside with 108 seats and a 40-foot bar with 20 seats. Therefore, be it resolved that Committee Board 3 recommends the denial of the application for a full on-premises liquor license unless the applicant agrees for the SLA to these stipulations. They'll operate as a full service restaurant with a full kitchen open, serving food during all hours of operation. The hours of operation will be Sunday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., Thursday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., Friday closed, and Saturday opening no earlier than 5 p.m. and closing by 2 a.m. It will not, we're not going to put in, it will not commercially operate any outdoor areas, right? No.
Well, that might restrict him on that.
Right, so I'm going to take that out because we already discussed that. It will close any front or rear facade entrance doors at 10 p.m. every night or when amplified sound is playing, including but not limited to DJs, live music, and live non-musical performances, or during unamplified live performances or televised sports, and will otherwise have a closed fixed facade with no open doors or windows. And I'll just reiterate that that's very important. It will play ambient background music only, consisting of recorded music, and will not have live music, DJs, promoted events, scheduled performances, or any event at which a cover fee will be charged. It will not apply for any alteration in its method of operation, for any alteration in its method of operation, excuse me, or for any physical alterations without first appearing before Committee Board 3. It will not host pub crawls or party buses. It will not have unlimited drink specials with food. It may have happy hours to 6 p.m. each night. There will be no wait lines. And yeah, they'll conspicuously post a stipulation and provide a phone number for residents to call. Is that all accurate, Bob?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, does the committee have any questions or concerns or additions?
I'll go ahead and second it and then also speak to it. Could you read back whatever, I think you were in the steps, but whatever was captured into the motion regarding what outreach was done? What did you find?
So I'm going to pull this up. So Susan informed us that can you see it now, the resolution?
Right. I just want to make sure that we're not dinging them for something that's inappropriate. By
Yes. So
saying
I took
something like
that.
they only did. Okay.
Yes. So I took out that they did not do any outreach to community groups because I went on the website and there are no community groups in that location, in that area, and applicants are only asked to reach out to established community groups that are listed on the website. So I took that clause out. I took that whereas out.
The whole whereas. Thank you.
May I just point out, you said another member of the community, the previous location. It was a previous tenant, not the previous location.
Sorry. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Any other discussion or questions from the committee about the resolution?
That thing about the discounted drinks, that was an interesting way to get around boozy brunch. Is that language? What language do we have now in our stipulations?
So our stipulations right now, I will not have unlimited drink specials, including boozy brunches. So yeah, that does not capture it, I don't think.
Is it worth taking time now to, or I'm not going to push for us to do it now, but I'd like to discount it or something.
Yeah, I think that's something that we could consider. We would have to have it. We would talk about it at a meeting about changing that stipulation or.
Well, my experience is that stipulation stays because we have had a lot of bad actors when it comes to that, and I wouldn't want my experience. I wouldn't want to remove it.
I don't think we would remove it, but we might addend it and add or no discounted drink special, something like that.
Discounted drink special. No one hates boozy brunches more than me, except for maybe the people who live right above them.
So
the law says that you can discount 50% and no more.
117A.
Pardon?
It's 117A of ABCL.
Yeah,
so have very cheap orange juice and very cheap
that's already all incorporated in the ABC law.
You can't discount more than 50%, right?
Okay, all right, great. Any other questions from the committee on this resolution specifically? Okay, hearing no further discussion, I'm going to move us into a roll call vote. And David has already seconded the resolution, so we're good, David, to go into a roll call? Okay. Michelle Cooper-Smith, yes. Alex Napoletano. Absent. David Crane.
Yes.
Ellen Liu. Ellen Liu.
Yes.
Thank you. Paul Sierros. Paul Sierros. I see
Paul,
it
can you
there.
unmute?
Please step away from his computer.
Yes.
Thank you. Herman Hewitt.
Yes.
Thank you. And last but not least, Jesse Beck.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thought I'd.
Okay. I'm just like mixing up the roll call tonight. Okay.
I like it. Everyone's on their toes.
Yeah, it's like I'm doing the Socratic method for roll call.
Can I speak for
I
a
think
minute on a second? It is how the body protects itself from speaking about something. For instance, let's say David Crane is making the same annoying motion he's made 10 times in a row, and no one wants to talk about it. Then the chair says, is there a second? And if there is no second, then because David Crane is the only one who insisted on talking about it, we don't talk about it. So it's to protect, the body can protect itself from having to discuss something and then having to vote by simply not seconding it. That's all that the second is about. So we don't really need to be sticklers for it. Nobody seconded it. Because if we're talking about it, you have by default seconded it by saying,
Got it.
I want to talk about it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, David. I'm seconding that. So the office will send you the stipulations tomorrow morning to sign, notarize, and return to the office.
I'd like to thank everybody very much and also point out that this is probably the first time you had somebody, NAF, started this meeting while in Miami, got on a plane, stayed in the meeting, and is now in New York.
What?
So, yeah,
Yes.
quite a bit of traveling
Wow.
during the meeting.
Wow.
Anyhow,
First,
I'll-
first
Matter
time.
for our end of things. That's amazing for your end. Kind of sad for our end.
I've been here the whole damn time.
Miami,
Okay.
right? What you're saying.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
everybody.
guys.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, committee. We're on to our last agenda item. Are the applicants for number 15, 63 Clinton, Get Back LLC present?
I am present. Raymond here, and I believe Sam Klontz is here as well.
Sam is here, yes.
Hello, Raymond. Hello, Sam. Okay, let me just pull up. Let me just pull up your stuff. I have two screens and it's still not enough somehow. All right. Alrighty, I'm going to drop as I've done every time, I'm going to drop this questionnaire in the chat so everyone can follow along if they so choose. Right,
You have the time on my computer. I still have the timer.
What, Herman? The timer?
Yeah, it's still up.
Oh, no.
I have it.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Herman,
Did I stop? No, are you guys seeing Herman talking right now? Or are you seeing a timer?
No.
I have the time. I'm not sharing right now, so you should not see it. Are you?
Okay.
Maybe his computer's frozen. The
Yeah,
screen may be frozen. Is
Yeah,
all
probably
right.
is. Because I'm actually on my phone.
Okay. All right. Well, you're not missing anything that exciting, just my face. Okay. So this is a new application for a new on-premises license at 63 Clinton Street for Get Back LLC. For those of you who don't know, that's the former Speedy Romeo location. The proposed hours of operation are 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, Friday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. These applicants have not previously been licensed, but Raymond previously managed a licensed location at 217 Eldridge Street, and it looks like Sam was the chef there. This location was previously an full on-premises license with hours of operation of Sunday through Thursday, 1 a.m. close and 2 a.m. close Friday through Saturday. So the applicant is actually proposing more restrictive hours, and this is a sale of assets, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. And I just have a couple of questions to the applicants about the questionnaire. You mentioned something about street side if available for outdoor. I mean, I know that we just talked about how that's not actually, doesn't really matter, but I'm just curious what you meant by that for outdoor.
When we were starting all this, we weren't sure what was happening in the next 6 months or so. So we weren't sure if we were still allowed to be able to do street side dining at the time that
So
we
you just mean like the open restaurants program?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. So then we don't need to talk about that here. And as you've already heard many times, will you commit to not having unlimited drink specials, including boozy brunches with food?
Yes, no dollar minimum.
Okay, we beat that horse dead. Okay, and so this will be, I neglected to mention, this will be a full service restaurant, kitchen open the whole time. It's going to be a progressive American tasting menu. It's only gonna be ambient recorded music, no scheduled performances, no live music, no promoted events, no scheduled, no events with cover charges, no pub crawls. They won't change their liquor license without coming to us, no unlimited drink specials, happy hour ending at 7, no wait lines. Is that all accurate from that to the applicants, Raymond and Sam?
Yes.
Okay, great. Does anyone from the committee have any questions or comments?
Good.
Paul, do you have a question?
No, I said I'm good.
You're good. Oh, okay, great. That's what I like to hear. Anyone else from the committee have any questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Anyone from the community sign up? I don't believe so. I wish you could search the chat. If anyone knows anyone at Zoom, please tell them that.
I did not notice anyone who had requested specifically to speak on this item. I did review the entire chat back to the beginning.
Thank you, Larissa. I appreciate that. You would benefit from a search function. Okay. So no questions from the committee? Nothing?
Well, I just wanted the same small little question, what your facade is like. Does it have any open doors, French doors, open windows?
No double doors, no French doors. We do have windows on premise. We'll, be sure to be closing them, at appropriate times. I know 10 is getting the feeling for the area, so, we'll abide by all those rules.
Well, it's 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or if there is music.
Right. Our music is going to be ambient music, so no live music, all pre-recorded music. Because we're such a fine dining restaurant, the music won't be at very high level. And there's also soundproofing that the previous Speedy Romeo's has already installed. So we know it's pretty secure, and we know we haven't had too many complaints beforehand as well.
I know these questions I ask you probably have it in your application, but I still just want you to elaborate. How many seats or how long is your bar? Do you have
the bar
one?
is only going to seat 12 guests.
How many seats?
12. 1, 2.
Just 12. And the number of seats and tables?
In total, we have listed maximum occupancy, though with COVID happening, we know we have to distance. So the number is going to be a lot smaller than what is advertised. We just want to give full transparency going forward without COVID being an issue here, that we are showing you what our potential maximums are for the restaurant. Though we know right now we're not going to hit maximum occupancy at all. We're really projecting to be about 60 to 70% of what our listed number is. So cutting that 100 number down to about 60 occupants at a time in our restaurant. We're going to be a lot smaller of a restaurant than what is already currently there.
Well, I'm looking post-COVID. Because this within a year or so, or whenever they approve percentage seating inside or not, that's why I'm asking for
I understand.
Not
In the
go ahead.
Yeah. In the long term, we're projecting anywhere from 60 to 85 seats with the outdoor, if we can take the participate in the outdoor dining.
Okay.
Okay, so I have 3 tables with 96 seats, 2 counters with 9 seats, and a J-shaped bar with 12 seats. Is that accurate?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Oh, wait, no, it's not 3 tables. That's wrong. 30 tables? 35 tables.
Yeah, yes.
That doesn't make any sense math-wise. Okay. All right, anyone else from the committee have any questions? Okay. Okay, here are some things I want to hit. I move that we start working on a resolution. So some things that I want to include in there are that these are previously unlicensed applicants, but who operated a licensed business at 217 Eldred Street. How long did you manage that business?
We were both there for a total of 3 years. In our first 6 months, I would like to add that we were awarded a Michelin star, which is quite a task. And so we will always be holding ourselves to a very high standard and level of performance in cooking and hospitality.
Okay, great. But managed a license.
Was it this small place with the pizza place?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to say, whereas the applicants have not operated a licensed business, but have managed a licensed business located at 217 Eldred Street for 3 years, for the past 3 years?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. Okay, so whereas the applicants are applying for a full on-premises license located at license. Sorry, I'm gonna share this. I don't know why I'm not doing the thing that I hate people don't do. 1 second. Okay, everyone can see the resolution I have on my screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, whereas the applicants are applying, and I'll fill in the blanks later, applying for a full on-premises license at 63 Clinton Street, and there have been no records of complaints at 301 in the last 2 years, no records of complaints at the committee board about this location in the last 2 years, whereas the applicants have not operated a licensed business but have managed a licensed business located at 217 Eldred Street for the past 3 years, whereas the premises will have 35 tables with 96 seats, 2 counters with 9 seats, and a J-shaped bar with 12 seats. Therefore, be it resolved, you can all read it. It will operate a full-service restaurant with a kitchen open, serving food all hours of operation. It'll be open from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Be Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. and Friday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. When we take out, it will not commercially operate because we're not putting that in right these days. It will close any front or rear facade at 10 p.m. every night or when amplified sound is playing, including but not limited to DJs, live music and non-musical performances, or during unamplified live performance or televised sports, and will otherwise have a closed fixed facade with no open doors or windows. It will play ambient background music only, consisting of recorded music, and will not have live music, DJs, promoted events, scheduled performances, or any event at which a cover fee is charged. It will not apply for any alteration without coming before Committee Board 3. It will not host pub crawls or party buses. It will not have unlimited drink specials with food. It may have happy hours to 7 p.m. It will ensure that there are no wait lines, and it will designate an employee to oversee patrons and noise on the sidewalk. It will post the stipulation in its business, and it will provide a phone number for residents. Anything else, any other discussion or additions from the committee that I'm missing? I don't see anybody's hands up. Okay. Okay, nothing, guys? You're all good?
We're good.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. All right, hearing no further discussion, I'm going to move into a roll call vote. Michelle Cooper Smith, yes. David Crane.
Yes.
Gotcha. Ellen Liu.
Yes.
You. Jesse Beck.
Yes.
Paul Sierros.
Yes.
Herman Hewitt.
Yes.
Alex Napoletano. Okay, I don't see Alex. All right. Well, thank you all. As you've heard us say many times before, we will be sending the stipulations. The office will send you the stipulations tomorrow for you to fill out and return, sign and return. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. I know it's been a long day and long night here, so I really appreciate the time.
Welcome to the neighborhood, or welcome back, I guess. All right, thank you so much. Okay, I think we're done. David, do we need to have a final roll call vote, or does that count? Just
yes. That was right at the end. So I think it's done. We can just have an acclamation to adjourn. I move we adjourn.
Do we need a second for that?
I believe we always have a roll call vote at the end?
Yes.
Oh, we just did one. If we want one, it's brief. We're only however many.
I believe it's on the meetings template. What is the meeting template?
But you also
say?
have to take a roll call to make sure everyone gets counted for the full meeting. So we do need a roll call vote at the end.
Okay, it felt like we did one 2 minutes ago, but if we have to,
All right,
that's our
Jesse, can I ask for you to take it? Because you got the minutes form. I won't have anywhere to put this.
Dude, I was talking to you that whole time. Yes, I am happy.
Thank you, Jesse.
Great. Ellen Liu.
Yes.
Alexandra Napoletano. Michelle Cooper Smith.
Yes.
Jesse Beck. Yes. Herman Hewitt.
Yes.
David Crane.
David Crane.
David Crane.
I muted and said yes. I don't know. Yes.
Altaros.
Oh, David. Yes, that was.
Paul.
Paul.
Paul. Paul, we can't hear you. You're not talking.
Yes, I was active, but I just muted.
Are you present? Are you present right now?
Yay. Everything.
Is that everyone?
No, except for Alexandra Napoletano.
Okay. All right. Great. All right. Thank you everyone so much for your attention this week. I know it's been a long week already and it's only Wednesday. So
Motion to adjourn.